DRG Media Group and River 92.7 are bringing you all home Oahe Zap games all season long. Tune in on the radio, listen on the app, or watch live on drgnews.com. Now, let's send it to the broadcast booth for some Oahe Zap baseball.
Well, the baseball gods ordered us up a perfect one here this afternoon at Heinz Stadium. Hello, everybody. I'm Justin Coward, bringing you coverage here on a picture-perfect Monday evening for the Oahe Zap and the Casper Spuds final game of this four-game series. 80 degrees, a slight breeze, not a cloud in sight here today. And I'm joined, as always, by our producer, director extraordinaire, Eli Lewis, and my partner for the season and the summer, Dylan Beach, as we are about 10 minutes away from first pitch here in a big game for the Oahe Zap, who beat the Casper Spuds yesterday 10-6, and going back 2 games ago, started to get the bats going late in that ball game. Couldn't get the win then, but last night they continued their great hitting. They scored 5 runs in the bottom of the 8th inning to regain the lead, never gave it back, and they got their first win in a couple days, and hopefully they continue that on here today. Dylan?
And momentum is a crazy thing sometimes, and it was really a dominant offensive performance from the Zap yesterday. 14 hits, 10 runs scored. So if you can keep that momentum rolling and start building on that yesterday's win.
Absolutely, and this is one of those things that we kind of talked about with the Zap. They get runners on base. They just didn't have the best luck bringing them across the plate. But they finally found that yesterday, especially in that 8th inning. The Spuds got out in front early, and the Zap regained the lead, and then they gave it back in the 7th inning with 2 runs. It was a 1-run game at that point, but then the Zap came out. They started hitting the ball well. They were patient at the plate. They drew some walks, and next thing you know, they brought 5 across in that bottom half of the 8th inning frame and went on to win 10-6. And we saw some good pitching yesterday. We saw some good hitting. It was an all-around good day at the ballpark for the Oahe Zap. Hopefully they can kind of continue that magic here this afternoon, as the Casper Spuds' final game against the Zap here feels like a pretty big one. As we make our way into the meat of this season, the playoffs are out of reach in this first half for the Oahe Zap, but the way that they set up the playoff format, now they're looking towards the second half. It's the best 2 teams from the first half and the second half that will be playing in the postseason, and now the Zap feeling like they've got to get things going in the right direction as of right now. Casper Spuds currently sit 3rd here in the ILB at 12-8. The number 1 team in the ILB is the Spearfish Sasquatch and the Hastings Sodbusters. Both of those 2 teams pretty competitive with each other, but it was good to see the Zap play a pretty competitive game against Spearfish in that 7-game series. They actually had a couple competitive games in there, got a couple wins. But as we move deeper into this season, it's really not about what you've done in the past. It's about how you're playing as of right now. And you've gotten to talk with some of those guys. You know, we're going to hear from Garen Gladill here in a moment, but you feel like they're feeling that momentum shift, feeling like they're playing with that passion, that excitement that we were looking for earlier on in the season? Yeah,
just talking to some of the guys around the team. I had a nice long chat with Jackson Cornett out in center field earlier, and he feels like this is a really talented team, and they just have been waiting for that one win to kind of just get them going, and this team is simply too good for their record right now, I feel like. I don't think this is a team that would lose this many games in a row again this year, but it feels like the momentum is kind of starting to shift from the end of that game 2 days ago and then yesterday to where this season maybe starts turning around.
They scored 4 runs in the final 3 innings of that game 2 days ago, and then, as we mentioned, continued that offense last night. But, you know, this is a team that feels like they've got all things clicking, and then one inning comes along, one guy comes out of the bullpen, doesn't have his best outing, and things just kind of fall apart. And it's really frustrating for a team when you feel like everything seemingly is working for you except for that one inning. And we've talked about it a lot on these broadcasts for those that have tuned in. You know, those games are going well for the Zap. They seem to punch first. They get out with early leads, but then when they get to those back half of games, 6th inning, 7th inning, 8th inning, and on, is when they kind of run into a rocky situation. Now, the Zap can deal with those 2, 3, maybe even 4-run innings that they have dealt with, but what you've got to avoid is those 7-run innings that really put you in a deep hole.
And that's what we kind of saw yesterday and even the day prior, which was what made it frustrating, is they had kind of limited those huge innings, but 2 days ago, they didn't really have the timely hitting to convert some of those runners. And then yesterday, we really saw a bit more of a complete game performance out of this team. And it's going to just be interesting with a bit of a rotated lineup today to see how they continue that momentum.
And speaking of one of those timely hits, we saw one from Garen Gladill, who smoked one down the first base line, got it into the right field corner, scored a couple runs, and Dylan was able to catch up with Garen down on the field before the game. Here's what he had to say.
Dylan Beach here with the Oahe Zap here with catcher Garen Gladill. Garen, you're back here. If your second year with the team, what does it mean to you to be back here in Pierre?
Oh, it means a whole lot to me. You know, I came here last year coming from a first summer team that wasn't really fun, wasn't getting a lot of playing time, and then coming here, got to play really good as well last summer here, and just ended up having so much fun. So I wanted to run it back.
Okay, Garen, you've been dealing with a bit of an injury bug. Kind of walk us through your process as you've been trying to heal throughout this season.
I've just been hitting the gym pretty much, just trying to get it moving. I hyperextended my knee during our second series in Casper, so just been a little rough, just trying to move it, just trying to run a little bit, trying to get it as strong as I can every day. So
we saw you come off the bench, you got walked your first time up, and then yesterday that huge play that really busted that game open. How did that kind of feel to really end up winning the game? That was the game-winning RBI. What was kind of going through your head during that play?
Oh my goodness, it was so exciting. You know, I was nervous. You know, I haven't seen live pitching in probably 2 or 3 weeks now, and if you're a baseball player, you know that's rough. So my goal is just to move the runners over. I was going to try to bunt them over at first, but then I saw the first baseman moved in, so I was like, okay, I'm going to hit it right at his head. And I got an inside fastball, and that's exactly what I did, hit it right down the line, and ended up scoring 2. So,
well, Garen, we can't wait to see you back at full health. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's pretty amazing that a guy can see a hole like that on a baseball field and guide a ball directly down it. Luckily for the Spuds first baseman, he didn't hit him in the head, but luckily for the Zap, it found its way through the hole, got down into the right field corner. And what was funny about Garen, you know, we saw him in his first at-bat, which that was not his first at-bat. That was actually his second at-bat back from injury. His first at-bat was a 5-pitch walk, and then he had to come off the field, got a pinch runner. That one, he made a little bit more hay out of that at bat.
Yeah, he stretched out that double and then got pinch ran for. So he hasn't got to play a whole lot. He'll probably come pinch hit in tonight. He still is trying to get healthy, of course. But, I mean, the coaching staff was kind of comparing it to Kirk Gibson's home run around the bases. Like, I mean, he was injured. I don't know if he was Kirk Gibson injured and he didn't hit a homer, but it was very nice to see him get back in the action.
Well, I was going to say the only way that he can get away from being pinch ran for is to trot around all 4 bags and hit himself a home run. We'll see if he can do that here tonight. Good crowd making their way here on a Monday afternoon. Perfect weather. We've dealt with some hot ones the past couple days. This one is tailor-made for baseball. About 80 degrees will be dropping as the night continues on. It's Western night here at Hyde Stadium. We see a lot of cowboy hats down there in the stands currently. And still time to make it over to Hyde Stadium for some baseball here tonight. On the mound is going to be Cooper Hack for the Casper Spuds, and a familiar face that's been playing around the diamond everywhere, including on the mound, Aiden Johnson. He's going to get a start tonight. It was funny, you were talking to Aiden before the game, and you kind of felt like he had found a place out there in the middle infield and over there at the hot corner on third. He didn't think he was going to find his way back onto the mound this season.
Yeah, it had kind of been the trending idea for him that he was just going to be done with pitching for the year, focus on hitting. With how he's been swinging the bat and seeing the ball, it kind of felt like that had been a decent idea for him to do, and also with how well a defense he's been playing over at third. But he's getting the start here tonight, and I think due to this big, long homestand and the lack of arms, might be kind of forcing him back into that pitching role tonight.
And that is something that we have seen is a lot of arms coming out of that bullpen for the Oahe Zap. This is going to be a huge night for Aiden Johnson to try to get past that 3-inning mark. And what that's going to take is low pitch numbers through those first 3 innings. You know, we saw A.J. Ponciano go out yesterday. He started well, but he hit about 35 pitches in his first inning of work, and a lot of those came from Easton Pratt yesterday. We did see Ponciano earlier on in this series, but Easton Pratt and Ponciano both running up their pitch counts a little high to start. Easton Pratt hit 35 pitches yesterday, settled in, ended up going about 5 innings for the Zap, but that's something that, you know, cannot be understated, is you cannot give free passes, you cannot allow leadoff batters to get on base. You're going to give up walks, but you got to stay away from those double-digit walk performances.
Yeah, and with how many runners the Zap have been walking in recent memory, it's leading to a lot of inflated pitch counts, which means you're going to have to use a lot more relievers. And you got a couple of guys coming late, but you're also going to lose a few guys for the season that got to report back to their colleges. So you're going to have to try to limit those pitch counts as much as you can.
It's going to be a tricky situation for Jamie Habiger to figure out, but I'll tell you, one way that they can avoid having to go through arms and having to make those chess match decisions is by scoring a lot of runs, getting big leads, and kind of using arms that maybe you didn't feel like you had to use or didn't really want to use, and that's not to disparage some of the guys that we'll see coming out onto the mound, but saving some of those sharper arms for more tight situations. We saw Brady Glenn yesterday. He threw under 10 pitches. He had a great outing, and that was the only inning we saw him. Maybe a decision that Jamie Habiger thought, okay, I want to save this guy for later on in this long homestand. They're playing 10 games in 11 days, and this is game 4 of that 10-game stretch, but maybe just trying to stretch out guys over this homestand. Maybe not use them as much in one specific spot. Use them a little bit here, use them a little bit there. Maybe that's what Jamie Habiger's thinking.
Yeah, and I talked to Brady a bit about that earlier, too, and he said it was also a bit of an aspect that he had pitched already a lot against Casper this season. They had seen a lot out of him, and they were going to turn to the new guy, Connor Hammond, see the new arm, and see if that can maybe throw a wrinkle in their plans.
And we will get to see Connor Hammond's out in the field today. We saw him a little bit pinch hitting, and he's been trying to settle in. I mean, he hardly just got off the bus a couple days ago, and here he is thrust into this lineup today. We'll get to our starting lineups here in a moment. The Oahe Zap are wearing their baby blue pants today. We saw the baby blue tops yesterday. That worked for them. So maybe they wanted to stick with that color scheme. They've got the navy blue and baby blue kind of mixed jerseys on with Zap across the chest, navy blue caps. Casper Spuds, realizing the temperatures have dropped significantly since they got to town, are back to their black jerseys with Spuds in white stretched across the chest and their gray tops as well. Our home plate umpires, our good friend Richard Gilmore, Dylan Turner out in the field calling outs and checking swings today. And it's always good to see Richard Gilmore back behind the plate.
Yeah, he's certainly a broadcast favorite umpire, and despite him not throwing the quickest strike calls out, he is definitely an entertaining umpire if those exist.
Well, we have had some marathon games over the past couple days. Our first 2 games of this series stretched almost out to 4 hours long, about 3 hours, 50 minutes of game time, which means about 4 hours of broadcast time for us. So yesterday's quicker game was a welcomed experience, but it's always fun. No matter how long the game takes when the Zap wins, that's a good formula for us up here in the booth.
Yeah, we always love to see a win. It makes for a very entertaining day at the office, and this team is just – it's felt like they've been so close to clicking for so long, and it was nice to see them kind of get that result yesterday.
Yeah, and it felt a little dangerous there after the 7th inning when – the Zap gave up 2 runs. They gave up the lead, but then they felt like they still had that momentum. We knew the bats had gotten going, and they were able to keep them going into the bottom of the 8th again. When they scored those 5 runs, they would go on to win 10-6, and they look to even up and split the series with the Casper Spuds here this afternoon. Before we introduce you to our starting lineups, let's take a look ahead at the rest of this homestand and what the Zap will be faced with. It's a lot of games in just a couple days, but they will be welcoming in another team and kind of a travel team here in the next couple days, which nothing against them, but that's a younger team that they'll be facing, the Plainsmen, and maybe the Zap can continue this momentum. Hopefully, if they can get the win tonight, carry that 2-game win streak into that series against the Plainsmen, and then they'll play Nebraska coming up shortly after that. But a 3-game series against the Plainsmen and games that the Zap feel like they can win.
Yeah, against 2 travel teams after this, if you can carry some of that momentum, you might be able to start a nice win streak starting in that second half, and it's going to start midway through those series, so it's going to be interesting to see how you carry the rest of this first half into the rest of the season.
Again, not the start the Zap wanted, but it is kind of a situation where the way that the ILB is set up, they can get things going and get themselves into the postseason. So let's take a look quickly at the Casper Spuds starting lineup here today. Familiar face in Matt Marsick leading off and playing left field. In the 2-hole, it's a guy we didn't see yesterday, and thankfully so for the Zap. Elijah Reeves, one of the hottest hitters in the ILB, back in the 2-hole today, playing center field. Hunter Billingsley will be batting third and playing third. Theo Cummer will be the designated hitter and the cleanup man today for the Spuds. Jack Opine back out at shortstop, batting fifth. Batting sixth, Stone Vasic, who is catching as well. Cody Clausius, a guy we've seen kind of plugged in and played. He'll get the start today at first base. Caden Wilcox, a guy we haven't yet seen in this series, will be playing second base today and batting eighth. And batting in the 9-hole will be Cannon Billingsley, Hunter Billingsley brother, playing in right field. As they announce the Oahe Zap starting lineup down on the field, we'll take it through you quickly before our national anthem. Gavin Frazier, the stalwart, out at shortstop, batting first today. Nick Golden batting second out and right. Third baseman Ty Farwell, who caught a little bit yesterday, will be playing the hot corner and batting third. Batting cleanup is the new face for the Zap, Connor Hammonds. Vince Palizzi will be today's designated hitter. Alex Jackson, who made a couple web gem plays out in left field and delivered a big hit for the Zap yesterday, will be again in left field. And Trey Runge will be at second base. Noah Cadena will be behind the dish here this afternoon. And the speedy Emiliano Curiel will be out in center field. We got a familiar face singing our national anthem here this afternoon. It's Miss Kaylee Tonstenson. We send it down to the field for Kaylee to sing our national anthem here today. Great job, Kaylee, and that's a great way to start here this afternoon. We'll also see Kyla Vogel throwing out our first pitch here today out on the mound. She had to throw it with the left hand a little bit closer to the mound because she tore her rotator cuff, but that wasn't going to stop her from throwing out today's first pitch. And we are just moments away from first pitch here with the Oahe Zap and the Casper Spuds. Again, out in the field, it'll be Alex Jackson in left, Emiliano Curiel in center, Nick Golden in right, Ty Farwell at third, Gavin Frazier at shortstop, Trey Runge at second base, Connor Hammonds getting his first start out in the field at first. And here comes Miss Kyla Vogel out to throw the first pitch. If you're watching on the Oahe Zap YouTube, you're going to see a tough lady there. She underhands it with the left hand, gets it in there just a bit high, but still made it. And, you know, we were questioning, was she even going to be able to do it with the torn rotator cuff? She said, I'm going to do it with the left hand.
It's her birthday. I mean, I'm going to call that a strike.
That's a strike to me. I know a couple other umpires that would call that a strike as well. Aiden Johnson getting the start for the Zap on the mound. Noah Cadena behind the plate. And now we're getting a happy birthday sung to Miss Kyla Vogel. So a perfect day at the ballpark for Miss Vogel as she gets happy birthday. I'm sure she'll get some free concessions out of that as well. Maybe a slushie or two coming her way.
And our intern Brooks singing the happy birthday, don't quit your day job, Brooks.
He really does it all down there, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's a man of many trades.
The 1-2-3 will be Matt Marsick, Elijah Reeves, and Hunter Billingsley for the Spuds, and hopefully for Aiden Johnson. That's all he faces in the top of the first. The lights are on. They don't need them right now. Sunlight drenching Hyde Stadium in this beautifully kept diamond. Great job by our fields crew who also play out in the field, the Oahe Zap. Cadena catching the final warm-up pitches here. And we also saw another one of our great umpires, Corey Baker, here today, but he's not umpiring. He's out in the field, or he's out in the stands today, actually taking in a ball game. I walked by him as I was making my way down there to tie up some odds and ends. And I said, you can't get enough of this place, can you, Corey?
Just Zapaholic.
Yeah, another phrase that some of our many fans have taken a liking to. Matt Marsick making his way over to that left-handed batter's box where we've seen him all series long. Got to keep him off the base paths. Marsick and Reeves, that 1-2 punch in the top of the lineup so quick. And if you let them get on base, well, they're going to steal from you.
Yeah, and we saw the power, too, shown off from him yesterday with that tanky hit, too.
See if the Zap can continue this momentum they picked up yesterday. Aiden Johnson will start eyeing in. And now for the ball game. Johnson will come set, working out of the stretch as he so often does. No wind-up for him, and this one's ripped to third base. The first pitch makes the first out as Ty Farwell was positioned perfectly for that Matt Marsick line drive.
Talk about efficiency, man. One pitch, one out. That's how you need to get going if you don't want this game to last 4 hours.
Doesn't get any better than that for Aiden Johnson. So quickly Marsick makes his way back to the dugout, and that gives way for Elijah Reeves, another guy you have to keep off the base paths if you're the Oahe Zap. That's a tough thing to do. This guy is hitting above 350, and Aiden starts him off with a slow breaking curveball right over the middle of the plate for strike one. Reeves is just a fun baseball player to watch, but the Zap will be perfectly content watching him from the Spuds dugout, and Aiden Johnson starts him with 2 good breaking balls, 2 strikes. Johnson quickly ahead, 0-2.
See what he attempts here with the put-away pitch.
See if he goes with another breaking ball or moves off to that fastball. Check swing, did he go? They checked down to first. He did not. Dylan Turner says he held it up. But a good pitch. You know, we've seen a lot of these Zap pitchers try to throw those waste pitches, see if they'll chase, and Elijah Reeves almost did there. So now Johnson still ahead with the 1-2. That one lifted a mile high on the infield, giving chase our 3 Zap players. Alex Jackson, the final player to call off Gavin Frazier and Ty Farwell. And that'll be the second out of the inning. So a good start from Aiden Johnson, exactly what the doctor ordered. And that'll bring up Hunter Billingsley. Billingsley's tagged a few here. He sent one deep over the right field fence earlier in this series.
Got 4 pitches to get down their arguably 2 best hitters right now is pretty crucial to get Aiden Johnson through this lineup a couple times.
So Billingsley with a couple test swings, and he will take strike 1 on the inside corner. So Aiden Johnson pumping the strike zone here early.
I mean, this is a guy who pitches full-time in college. That's why it's kind of been a shocker how good of a hitter he's been for the Zap here lately.
And how good of a fielder, too. The 0-1 swung on and missed. Got him with the breaking ball, and quickly ahead 0-2. And we saw Aiden Johnson, when he's not pitching, he often plays third, but we saw him plugged in at second base, where he just kind of slid right in. Made a couple of great plays, a couple great turns on some double plays. Here's the 0-2 to Billingsley. Swung on and missed for strike 3. About as good of a 1-2-3 start as you could go. 7 strikes, or 7 pitches, and all of them felt like strikes for Aiden Johnson. So he knocks down the first 3 of the inning, and that'll bring up the Zap. We'll stay right here for our first inning Fiber Fact, brought to you by Venture Communications. You got spam in your inbox? Don't let those fake links get the best of you. Look twice, hit delete, and keep your inbox clean and nice. I think that was supposed to be read as a rhyme. But that's Venture Communications letting you know, don't get fooled by those fake spam links like Jeff Bezos did when he opened up that link and had somebody hack into the entire Amazon system. I'll tell you what, if he had Venture Communications on his side, that never would have happened. And a big thanks to Venture for providing us with our first inning Fiber Facts. Check them out on Facebook. I finally got a name of that AI-generated baby that they're making all those hilarious videos with. I believe it's Shiloh. So check out the Shiloh the Baby videos that they're putting up on Venture. Always a good time at Venture Communications. They're always doing fun things. I'm glad I've got fiber optic cable with Venture Communications, because when those storms roll through central South Dakota, they can wipe out any of your general Wi-Fi, but not fiber. No threat of storms right now here. I'm looking. I'm searching everywhere. I can't find a cloud over top of Hyde Stadium here. We get a great view of those rolling hills across the river that we didn't get to see much of yesterday. It was a fully overcast day yesterday until about the 8th inning when the Zap found the sunlight and found the rhythm at the plate, scoring all those runs, taking back the lead.
Her producer's just cracking up at those baby videos. I see him over here on Facebook, man.
Yeah, Eli Lewis has found Shiloh the baby. Tell you, when I'm at the station getting some work done and I need a little break, I just go watch those. They crack me up.
Evidently, I've got to get tapped into their Facebook page. I don't spend a lot of time on Facebook, but if these videos are this funny, I might need to give them a peek.
We talked about the Zap bats heating up. One of those bats was by Gavin Frazier, who's had his family here in attendance yesterday. Are they still in town, or did they make it?
I believe this will be their last game, then they'll be back for the 4th of July.
I hope he got to talk to his mother today, who gave us those great Canadian snacks. Here's the first pitch to Frazier. He takes strike one down the middle. Cooper Hack on the mound, a tall right-hander for the Spuds, imposing figure, big guy. And he'll be bringing the heat today. See if Gavin Frazier can continue his good work at the plate. He swings and fouls that one back over the home plate fencing that shields some of those foul balls from getting out into the street. Couldn't shield that one. Traffic a little bit busier here today in Pierre on a Monday afternoon. Frazier quickly behind 0-2. And he takes one way high for ball one.
Dugout loved that take.
Couple good eyes yelled out from the Zap dugout on the first base side. We saw Gavin get moved to the 2-hole 2 games ago. Here's the 1-2. That one runs high for ball 2. In game number 2 of this series, a lot of 2s there, but Gavin Frazier, who sports number 2, had some good at-bats, got his name moved back to the top of the lineup. The 2-2, that's off the thumb of the bat and somehow finds its way into fair territory. And it's fielded by Cody Clausius and tossed to Cooper Hack for the first out. I have never seen a ball hit off the actual end of the bat where his hands rest.
I have never seen that before in my 21 years of life. That is so just unfortunate there for Gavin Frazier.
Off the bottom of the handle of the bat. Well, luckily for Frazier, it didn't get him up towards the hands where that could really do some damage, but it's the first down of the inning for the Spuds, and now Nick Golden will take strike one on the outside corner. So maybe a bit of a blessing in disguise for Gavin Frazier, who did roll out, but he didn't get any pain off of that. Ball could have hit him in the hands, possibly broken some fingers. We see that happen all too often. Golden takes ball one up and away. Ty Farwell hitting third today, waiting in the on-deck circle as this one's lifted high in towards shallow center field. Elijah Reeves loses his ball cap on the way, and nobody called for it. It drops right in between 3 Spuds. Elijah Reeves, Matt Marsick, and Jack Opine all were in arm's distance of where that ball was, but nobody wanted to claim it.
I think every one of them thought the other one called it.
I kind of started looking back down at my stat sheet thinking that Elijah Reeves had that one in hand, and then I look up and the ball's laying on the turf. So there's a gift to Nick Golden and the Zap. They've got a runner on with one out, and Ty Farwell, who's been swinging maybe the hottest bat in the ballpark, up to the plate, and he lets one sail behind the numbers. That one somehow didn't hit him.
I don't know how that one didn't catch any part of Ty Farwell there.
Ty Farwell stands tall at 6'5". Kind of shrunk out of the way of that ball. And now he rips one, and that's going to get down for a base hit. So Nick Golden will stay at second after he made the turn, and Ty Farwell's bat is on fire. I think I see it might be dust coming up off of it, or it could be smoke coming off of the bat of Ty Farwell. And I was just about to say before he ripped that hit into right field, if there's one guy that you maybe don't want to get hit in this lineup, it's Ty Farwell, because he's been hitting so well, and he continued it right there.
Yeah, a really nice piece of hitting there. See if Connor Hammonds can move him on along.
The newest face in this Zap organization, Connor Hammonds, has taken a couple of bats. He struck out his first time around as he takes ball one inside.
He was really impressive on the mound yesterday, too, and he's a two-way guy, and I wasn't sure what type of pitching profile he had, but it's a really nice surprise as the lefty on the mound.
And he's hit by a pitch, so now the Zap have the bases loaded. So Cooper Hack having a little bit of trouble keeping the ball off of the backs of the Zap ball players here. He almost hit Ty Farwell, and then he came through and hit Connor Hammonds. And I was about to say this about Connor Hammonds, his second at-bat around after that first at-bat that ended in a strikeout. He really laced one towards the third baseman. The Spuds third baseman made a great play on it, but it was a good sign for Connor Hammonds to be making some contact.
This is not who you want to see coming to the plate if you're a Spuds fan with bases loaded and one away.
Vince Palizzi, today's designated hitter, will climb into the right-handed batter's box with a chance to really make the Spuds pay here early. Bottom of the first inning, no score, but the bases are juiced for Vince Palizzi. Hack delivers, and he delivers a strike right down Broadway. And a good start to the power hitter Palizzi.
I'm not sure how many right down the middle fastballs you can get away with Palizzi at the plate.
Especially with this wind blowing out towards left field. Palizzi, a right-handed hitter. He takes ball one up and in.
We've seen some Zap hitters get overly aggressive with bases loaded. I think that's kind of been a trend, at least in the recent games, where they've been taking more pitches.
The 1-1 to Palizzi is taken in there for strike one. He didn't like the call, neither did the Zap dugout.
Now you're in defense mode.
1-2 count to Palizzi. Hadn't swung the bat yet. I think he saw the last couple at bats. Wanted to be patient. Now it's go time. He checks his swing, and that one runs a bit high for ball two. That was a dangerous take right there after a strike just got called in that same vicinity.
Crowd trying to will him on here.
Here's the 2-2. Swung on, lifted high towards foul ground. Staring up into the sunlight is Clausius and making the play before running out of room. So the wind definitely aided that ball back into the field of play. And Clausius was able to track it down. And now Alex Jackson, who has been hitting the ball well lately, it's just been an issue of hitting it right to defenders. He had a big hit yesterday. He's now the last hope with the bases loaded for the Zap here in the bottom of the first. And this is one of those situations we keep talking about. The Zap get runners on and get him in scoring position. They've just had issues getting him across. And he takes strike one right down the middle.
Yeah, and I'm waiting for a Zap player to maybe jump on one of these. He's been going right down the middle the last two batters on strike one.
Jackson waggling the bat, awaits the 0-1, checks his swing, takes ball one high.
You would just love to get some run support here for Johnson, who typically won't go more than 3 innings. Try to get him some support to maybe extend his day another inning or two.
Zap have all the momentum right here, would love to keep it going with a base hit, and he takes strike two right down the middle. A couple good breaking balls have found their way into the strike zone for Cooper Hack. Zap went down looking 2 nights ago with a comeback opportunity, and he almost wears one on the chin as that had to do his best Michael Jackson lean impression, or looking like he was in the Matrix there, trying to escape that fastball that was coming up and in. But he's worked the count back to 2-2. And here it is, up high, ball 3. So you got to protect the plate, but you don't want to swing at ball 4 here if you're Alex Jackson and miss the opportunity to walk in a run.
Nice recovery here from Alex Jackson. He's looked very impressive at the plate as of late.
He sure has. Payoff pitch, runners going, checks his swing, it's ball 4. And now Richard Gilmore is going to check with Dylan Turner on the check swing. And a couple words between Nick Golden and Stone Vosick, the Spuds catcher, as Golden emphasized his right foot going onto the home plate dish there. But the Zap lead 1-0 here early and still have the bases loaded for Trey Runge.
And if anything, that was just a courtesy check there to Vosick. It didn't really look like he ever really went around on that one.
And credit Alex Jackson for selling it, making his way down to first base quickly. First pitch fouled back into the netting behind.
Runge, a guy you'd love to see get going here. Baseball's all about momentum. Hasn't been the start he's maybe wanted, but all it takes is one base hit to change that. We've seen that with Jackson here lately.
Here's the 0-1 to Runge. He takes strike 2 right down the middle. Not sure what it is about that breaking ball that's giving these Zap batters fits here, but they're just not offering at it. As good as it looks, must have a bunch of break on it.
Because they're going right over the middle of the plate.
0-2 count. Swung on and missed for strike 3. So the Zap leave the bases loaded, but not before they walk in a run. After 1 inning, they lead 1-0 here at Hyde Stadium. We'll be back after this short break on River 92.7.
Hey, it's your phone talking. Yeah, your phone. You know, that thing you're constantly picking up and poking around? Listen, when you're behind the wheel, would you please give me a break? You'll have plenty of time for your TikToks and, I don't know, texting your friends after you put it in park. Distracted driving, friend, no joke. One quick text or social media feed can cause a crash, and hey, I don't want any part of that. You got someplace to be, and trust me, I'll enjoy the downtime. Brought to you by the South Dakota Office of Highway Safety and its station.
Dunes Golf is celebrating their 30th anniversary this summer. They look forward to seeing old friends and new acquaintances on the driving range and on the course throughout the summer. Play 9 or 18 holes, pay by the round, save with a punch card, or become a member for unlimited play. Dunes Golf is a great location for group outings or a summer play day. Call 605-223-2525 or see golfdunes.com. Just 1 mile north of Fort Pierre on Highway 1806. Dunes Golf.
Thinking of travel, Pierre Regional Airport offers nonstop flights from Pierre to Denver. From there, you can fly anywhere. Book to your destination and check bags through on United, Delta, or American Airlines. 1-hour flights on 50-passenger jets to Denver, then connecting to your destination. Save travel time and money, avoid the crowds, and free parking when you fly from Pierre Regional Airport. Skip the drive. Fly from Pierre Regional Airport.
Looking for happenings in Central South Dakota? The Pierre Area Chamber of Commerce Community Calendar is your go-to for all the latest events. From entertainment to local benefits, community activities, and more, there's something for everyone. Email your event to contactchamber@pierre.org and it will be listed on the weekly calendar. To view the calendar, go to www.pierre.org. Let's celebrate together in the heart of South Dakota. The Pierre Area Chamber of Commerce, connecting our community one event at a time.
Aiden Johnson back out on the bump. Already ahead 0-1 in the count. The offering. Off speed in there for strike 2, and Aiden Johnson just pumping the zone here right now.
Something's gotten into Aiden Johnson.
10 pitches, 9 strikes for Aiden Johnson. The one that wasn't a strike, the ball put in play. That one skied up. Cadena settling under, going to get called off by Aiden Johnson. Aiden Johnson makes the play. Aiden Johnson, the native third baseman, always going to call him off there, especially after Noah Cadena had the trouble with that foul ball the other day, and there's some crazy sun here going on.
Crazy sun and a little bit of a breeze will make it tough on any infielder to make that play. Usually the pitcher is the last person that the coach wants making that play, but Aiden Johnson, like you said, let his infield instincts take over.
Aiden Johnson, the offering, misses outside for, I think, his first ball of the game, or maybe his second. He has been just clinical so far to start this game. As the 1-0 swung on and missed for strike 1.
There's such a big difference in the velocity between his fastball and that breaking pitch. I mean, it is so noticeable, even from up here. I can only imagine for the batter.
The 1-1 swung on and missed again, and that off speed is just hitting right now for Aiden Johnson. We've seen him in the past kind of hang some of those, but he has got some good control of it right now and really tricking these Spud batters. The 1-2 miss is outside in the dirt for ball 2.
Yeah, you could see him not getting the release that he wanted on that pitch. It's tough. You can always kind of tell out of the hand what's coming, fastball or curveball. And sometimes the pitchers just dig that pitch in too far.
2-2, that one fouled off.
Went back to the fastball there. Opine was ready for it.
It's Johnson trying to get his second K of the ball game. That one his 16th pitch And he's moving very effectively right now. The 2-2, that one driven past the first baseman. Hammonds tried diving for it. That one going to be extra bases for Opine. Golden fires into Runge. Runner in there standing at second.
Yeah, and for Connor Hammonds, that could be kind of some of that rust of not playing as often as these other guys are, but I think that Jamie Habiger is going to have a talk with him. Got to put your body. He tried to go to the backhand on that one. You got to slide your feet over and put your body in front of that ball.
And at least save the extra bases. If you get a piece on it, he's going to be standing at first rather than second, and that double play ball still be in effect. But Jack Opine gets the double, brings Stone Vasic to the plate. Had a really nice first game as he watches that one behind him for ball one.
I don't even know if he watched
out of
that
the way.
one.
Yeah, didn't even see that one. He ducked out underneath it. Had a really nice game one in this series, went 4 for 5, then was the beer batter the next night and gave all these Pier fans a couple of chances to buy some discounted beer. As the 1-0 from Johnson. Swung on and driven into the gap. That one going to score. Golden giving chase. Spuds tie things up. Vasic stops at second. And a one-out RBI double. A really impressive piece of hitting there from Vasic. And Aiden Johnson was moving very quickly. And a couple of damage here getting done on him now.
And that's going to happen. You can't. I don't think any Zap pitcher, as much as they want to, I don't think they go into any game thinking that they're going to get through it without giving up any hits or any runs. Talk about it all the time. It's all about limiting the damage.
Aiden Johnson tries to do just that. That one in there for strike one. A good return to form there for Johnson. And we mention it a lot. Sound like a broken clock sometimes. But you got to limit the big innings. If you can keep this at 1, you can live with it, especially how the bats looked in that last inning. The 0-1 here from Johnson. Swung on and missed in the dirt for strike 2. A beautiful off speed there, just died at the plate. And Clausius went chasing.
Tough pitch to get to for a taller hitter. Also, that, especially a lefty, that ball's breaking down into your feet from a right-handed pitcher.
Just about dropped directly on the plate. 0-2 from Johnson. That one skips in. Clausius thought about offering. Keeps the bat there. And that one in there for ball one.
And that's nowhere near the zone, but that, as good as his off-speed has been, we almost saw an offering there from Clausius. That's how good that pitch is working for Aiden Johnson right now.
And that's a good waste pitch because that can set up maybe this next offering from Johnson if he tries to go high. Got to keep the batters guessing. The 1-2 fouled off. He went with the fastball, and Clausius able to catch up with it.
But again, what we see is we're seeing strikes being pitched and not getting ahead 0-2 and throwing things out of the zone and letting these counts work back full. You're fine with that foul ball because the count still sits at 1-2.
Johnson checking on that runner at second. The 1-2. That one chopped into the other batting box, foul.
Somehow got a piece of that one on the curveball. Looked like it might have clipped that little cord out area at the end of the bat. I mean, that just barely caught a stitch.
Has fouled off back-to-back pitches to stay alive. Aiden Johnson looking for his second strikeout. Nice clap gun started from the dugout. The offering, the 1-2, off speed, in there, goes down looking. Aiden Johnson, the second K, goes down backwards.
And that is a testament to how good his curveball has been. You know, we can tell a little bit about where those pitches start and where they end up from up here, but that one looked like it broke about a foot. I mean, it started way outside and then just curved right back in like a good curveball does. So now he's 1 out away from keeping this thing tied up.
Beer batter Caden Wilcox to the plate. That off speed in there for strike one, and Johnson quickly ahead of the count again.
And Wilcox, seeing that break, he flinched a little bit. That's how much it's curving in. It looked like it was going to hit him from his vantage point. And the next thing he knows, it's 0-1.
As crowd letting him hear it. The 0-1 from Johnson. That one popped up into the outfield. Giving chase is Curiel under it. Makes the play. No cheap beer, but a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 inning for Aiden Johnson. A couple of doubles doing the damage. Spuds tie things back up at 1. We'll be right back here for the bottom of the second.
Hey, it's your phone talking. Yeah, your phone. You know, that thing you're constantly picking up and poking around. Listen, when you're behind the wheel, would you please give me a break? You'll have plenty of time for your TikToks and, I don't know, texting your friends after you put it in park. Distracted driving, friend. No joke. One quick text or social media feed can cause a crash. And hey, I don't want any part of that. You got someplace to be. And trust me, I'll enjoy the downtime. Brought to you by the South Dakota Office of Highway Safety and this station.
Dunes Golf is celebrating their 30th anniversary this summer. They look forward to seeing old friends and new acquaintances on the driving range and on the course throughout the summer. Play 9 or 18 holes, pay by the round, save with a punch card, or become a member for unlimited play. Dunes Golf is a great location for group outings or a summer play day. Call 605-223-2525 or see golfdunes.com. Just 1 mile north of Fort Pierre on Highway 1806. Dunes Golf.
Thinking of travel? Pierre Regional Airport offers nonstop flights from Pierre to Denver. From there, you can fly anywhere. Book to your destination and check bags through on United, Delta, or American Airlines. 1-hour flights on 50-passenger jets to Denver, then connecting to your destination. Save travel time and money, avoid the crowds, and free parking when you fly from Pierre Regional Airport. Skip the drive. Fly from Pierre Regional Airport.
Looking for happenings in Central South Dakota? The Pierre Area Chamber of Commerce Community Calendar is your go-to for all the latest events. From entertainment to local benefits, community activities, and more, there's something for everyone. Email your event to contactchamber@pierre.org and it will be listed on the weekly calendar. To view the calendar, go to www.pierre.org. Let's celebrate together in the heart of South Dakota. The Pierre Area Chamber of Commerce, connecting our community one event at a time.
Noah Cadena at the plate for the bottom of the second. He swings that one. That one ends quickly. A leadoff hit for Noah Cadena. The outfielder having trouble fielding it. He'll be in at second standing.
And he just fit that one right in between the third base bag and Hunter Billingsley there.
And it's been a promising last couple of games for Noah Cadena. The last few times we've seen him was part of that performance against Tristan Agadal was the second hit that he allowed in that game, and has really been putting some good swings on baseballs as it turns way to another guy who's starting to get hot, Emiliano Curiel.
I'd love to see maybe Noah Cadena get a little movement here on that second base bag with Billingsley playing way off the third base bag and a right-handed hitter in Curiel.
That one misses high and inside to Curiel for ball 1. Cadena might jump around a little bit, maybe test some pickoffs. Wilcox is certainly aware of that fact. He's getting pretty close to that bag, maybe for the pickoff. The 1-0 inside for ball 2 to Curiel.
Yeah, we saw it yesterday when T.J. Eikenberry came into the ballgame for the Zap and gave up those 2 runs. He got the ground ball he was looking for, but because Spuds had a runner on second, the Zap second baseman was shaded up the middle and created that hole.
2-0, turns 2-1 to Curiel. He watched that strike in.
Maybe with Caden Wilcox shading over towards that second base bag, Curiel could punch something the other way and bring in Noah Cadena.
And with that third baseman up, even the pole back the other way, that one misses high off speed for ball 3. Might not get a chance to swing the bat.
Well, I wonder what the scouting report given by this coaching staff for the Zap has been on Cooper Hack, because they really have not been offering it much.
3-1. Swung on and missed for strike 2. Curiel was really trying to get that RBI as count runs full. Payoff pitch here from Cooper Hack. Sets deals. That one fouled back our way.
It's the first day that we've felt comfortable enough to open up the windows. let the breeze blow in here. It's not in the hundreds like it has been the past couple days. We're almost wondering if today's the day we're going to get a foul ball up in the broadcast booth.
As the second payoff pitch, that one runs inside, misses, ball 4, and Curiel walks to first.
I hate to say this, but if we do get a foul ball up here, I'm not giving it to some kid and having a feel-good story. I'm going and getting my free slushie.
I call dibs on the trading card.
You get the trading card, I get the slushie. That seems like a pretty fair trade.
Still trying to add to my Naruto Saito trading card collection. I got to get one of his signed before he leaves.
Those will be worth something one day.
As it brings Gavin Frazier to the plate. Runners on first and second, nobody away. Off speed in there for strike 1. Frazier was behind in the count the last time we saw him. He's been so disciplined at the plate, has been able to fight back in some counts this year and draw walks. As he shows bunt, fouls that one back for strike 2. A high ball there. Was shocked to maybe see him not pull that one back.
He didn't look super confident in his bunt there. Kind of wanted to pull it back and then decided when the pitch was halfway there, no, I'm committing to this.
High ball, not a bad one to bunt because you don't got to get level with it as much, but he's behind in the count 0-2. Skies that one foul over the press box. Hits the press box.
Almost got over the press box.
He tried to clear it. I hear the thud in the background as doing a good job there staying alive. Trying to get a timely hit here and bring those runners around. Nobody away. The 0-2 misses high for ball 1. Vassek caught that one early. He was trying to frame it, but would have needed that one to be a couple inches lower.
Or you need Ty Farwell at the plate.
Yeah, bigger zone would have certainly helped them. As the 1-2 to Frazier. That one fouled off. Out of play again. We see a seagull flying around the ballpark tonight, and that was a very big shock for me out in Casper seeing a seagull. I did not know those were out here in the Great Plains.
Well, if you go to the side of the river with a bag of chips, you'll be introduced to a few seagulls.
The 1-2 put into play. Reeves chasing under it. Nobody tags. As would have been a decent one to do so as it got away from the pickoff.
A little bit surprised there that Cadena didn't test the arm of Reeves there in center field. Reeves was moving to his left, and as a right-handed thrower, it's hard to set a base underneath yourself when you're moving that direction. And the throw that came through certainly would not have gotten Cadena out at third.
Yeah, I was thinking he was at least going to test it, but you don't want to run into an out, and you got a hot hitter at the plate in Golden as he tries drilling one the other way. That one's slicing foul. No Spud able to catch up with it. Golden had that triple in this series. Tried to extend a single into a double last night. And has been kind of one of the hotter hands in this Zap lineup. The new batting average leader on the team. Behind in the count 0-1. Runners on first and second, one away. Game knotted up at 1 apiece. The offering misses outside for ball 1. At times, Hack has just kind of struggled with his command of the zone.
He's been leaving a lot of pitches high.
As he's already thrown 42 pitches through 1 1/3. As that one hit by Golden, and he gets through. We'll see if Cadena tries it. Habiger puts up the stop sign. Everybody stays. But bases loaded, 1 away. I'm getting a bit of deja vu.
Well, if there's anybody you want at the plate right now in this situation, it's the guy coming up in Ty Farwell. I don't know what he did, if he did a little voodoo on his bat or something, but it seems like he can't swing at a pitch without hitting it right now.
Zap had the same situation in the bottom of the first. Could only get 1 run across. They would certainly love to blow this one open with a Ty Farwell hit. The 0-0 missing inside and low for ball 1.
Good stop there by Vassek. Sliding over to his right, doing exactly what a catcher needs to do. Put the glove down where that 5 hole is, right between the legs, and If it happens to bounce up, let the chest plate block it.
Farwell ahead in the count 1-0. The offering from Hack. Misses low for ball 2. Farwell quickly ahead. Sure the Zap wouldn't mind walking in another run here, but with how Farwell's been swinging it, you'd love to have him get a chance at it. As Hack tries to settle back in here, his pitch count already running very high. No activity in the Spud bullpen yet.
Another bases loaded opportunity for the Zap that you feel like they just have to capitalize on.
The 2-0 to Farwell. In there for strike 1. Tall tie Farwell with the big strike zone. That one catching at the bottom. Still ahead in the count 2-1. Feels like this could be a big momentum get for the Zap after the Spuds tied things up. 2-1. Runs in, hits Farwell, and Noah Cadena trots on into home, and Ty Farwell trots to first.
You know, for Cooper Hack, that might have been the smart play with as well as Farwell's been swinging the bat lately. If you put one over the plate, chances are he's going to hit it. Now, what an opportunity for Connor Hammonds to really ingratiate himself to this team. Only one out, bases loaded. You've got an opportunity with a 1-run lead right here to really extend that out. We saw him put a charge into one in his second at bat as a Zap.
Yeah, right down that third base line. Just was maybe a bit unlucky not to have had his first hit. We got to see him get his first strikeout as a Zap last night. Then got that double play to get out of the inning. Had a very impressive 1 inning after he took the exchange from Brady Glenn, who also looked oh so good yesterday. And yesterday kind of felt like a turning point for the Zap team. If you could keep this inning going, get some momentum, split this series versus your rivals, and then you got a couple of traveling teams coming into town. A chance to maybe win a few series and get some momentum started for that second half. Connor Hammonds at the plate. The 0-0. Fouled over the netting for strike 1. The newest Zap player, the oldest on the team, trying to become an integral part of this Zap team over the second half of the season. Certainly going to be needed to be relied upon as another lefty out of the bullpen. So he fouls that one into the fencing for strike 2. Bounces right to Wyatt Gladew's mom. Wyatt Gladew's dad not down there because he's getting ready for the race after this frame.
They're hanging out over there in the corner. If you've seen the beat the freeze phenomena, this is the beat the bolt phenomena coming up.
The 0-2 to Hammonds misses high and in for ball 1.
We got to talk to Wyatt Gladew yesterday. I wish we had known that his dad was going to be partaking in the beat the bolt here in a little bit. Could have asked him what kind of running background he has.
You know, he's a volleyball player. We'll see if he can beat the bolt today and win himself a nice little prize. Is that off speed in there? Hammonds goes down looking late. Certainly felt like one you needed to protect and just barely catching in on the zone.
Yeah, again, a good off-speed pitch by Cooper Hack, but a 1-2 count. You at least got to offer when something's around the plate, especially in this situation. And we'll see if big old Vince Polizzi can come through. But again, Zap are really going to be kicking themselves if they get 2 back-to-back bases-loaded opportunities and only come away with 2 runs out of it.
2 away. Polizzi chops that one foul for strike 1. Bases loaded. Got to find a way to get some more runs here and not strand them. The Zap have struggled with both runners in scoring position and stranding guys this season. Feels like they could get some momentum going for this game. A hit from Polizzi. That one drilled.
That ain't
going and gone. Say goodbye to that one. Vince Polizzi, grand slam.
Well, I think that's taking advantage of an opportunity there, Dylan, with runners in scoring position. We've seen him hit one off the Boys and Girls Club. Now he adds a second one to his repertoire. He might have broken a window out there.
The second grand slam of the year for the Zap, the second home run for Vince Palizzi. And get that cowboy hat on. It's Western night. The Zap take a 6-1 lead. What a swing from Palizzi. The wind didn't even assist him too much on that one. Just sitting down is the flag. As Alex Jackson comes to the plate, watches that off speed in for ball one.
And that ball was right in Vince Palizzi's wheelhouse. He likes the ball down so he can really kind of get his hands through on it.
1-0 turns 2-0 to Jackson. And Hack trying not to let another base runner on after a 5-run frame for the Zap. Jackson trying to keep this 2-out magic going. Swung on and missed, or fouled back, I should say, for strike one. Just barely clipped the bat. As Jackson trying to continue his hot tide as of late, has really showed some impressive fielding out in the outfield. He's been playing left here lately. Gets the back-to-back start. That one runs inside, catches him on the backside, and he heads to first, wincing in pain.
Yeah, and a couple angry groans from the Zap fans here, but I don't think there was any intention behind that from Cooper Hack. When he hit him, he kind of turned around in disgust and walked off the mound like, I can't believe I've done that.
The third batter hit by a Hack already. That was his 57th pitch of the ball game. He's only through 1 2/3. He's got Trey Runge to the plate. Spuds finally have some action in the bullpen.
Looks like Kylan DePorter down there getting loose. We've seen Kylan already in this series.
Trey Runge trying to keep this inning going for the Zap. One more batter and we're right back where we started in this frame with Noah Cadena. Be the 1-2-9 inning that we were kind of talking about in the break. Has that one in there for strike one to Runge.
Well, and this is great for Aiden Johnson, too, because, you know, as a pitcher, when you're sitting in the dugout and you see so many runners getting on, all you want is for just a base hit.
As Runge goes through on that one for strike two.
And all you want is that one base hit to add a few runs, give yourself a little bit of a cushion. And Vince Palizzi said, I could do you one better.
As Runge 0-2 put into the gap. Reeves chasing, diving, and making the play. That one almost certainly saving extra bases and a run. A top 10 play there from Elijah Reeves, and we're going to keep it right here for the Beat the Bolt race.
That was an outstanding play from Elijah Reeves, looking like Superman out there in center field. I mean, he had about 3 feet of space between his midsection and center field as he was floating through the air to make that play. This kid is lightning in a bottle, just so much fun to watch play out there.
And you got to feel for a guy like Trey Runge who hasn't had the luck he's wanted this season, and that one almost certainly stealing extra bases from him.
All right, so we know Wyatt Gladill's dad is trying to beat the Bolt. Who's in the Bolt costume here today? Do we want to give it away or do we want to keep it a secret? It looks like we can see the face.
His face is showing, so we can say it's the assistant GM, Jack Pates. We can barely not get him in shot, but we will see them all the way around as the Bolt goes, and he is making ground up.
Gladill's dad is trying to kind of pace it off here, but he doesn't know that the highlighter green is coming up behind him quickly.
He's right
There's
behind
about
you.
15 feet in difference, and the Bolt is coming up quickly for our radio listeners.
Run,
the Bolt
Mr.
is
Gladill.
passing Gladill. It's neck and neck there.
Oh,
Mr.
no.
Gladill is making his way, and he is beating the Bolt. Wow, that is well done. Wyatt Gladill's dad knew exactly what to do on that. He kind of just went out and jogged the first couple 100 feet. And as intern Jack really started to gain some ground, Mr. Gladill picked up the speed. You know, we've seen the beat the freeze, as I mentioned, but we saw so many guys and girls that try to sprint out of the box to get as much ground as possible at the start. But Wyatt Gladill's dad there making a really smart place, and I'm going to pace it out. Because when you sprint out, you run out of gas towards the end.
As a guy who had to run some foul poles for that video the other night, it is a much shockingly longer distance than you'd really expect. Just about a 200-meter dash around the fencing, and it was a very impressive effort from Mr. Gladill.
Well, that'll bring us right into the top of the third, and Aiden Johnson back on the mound, and the first pitch to Cannon Billingsley is fouled off towards the left field side, barely missing a passing car on its way out. Good for Mr. Gladill, as that one is pumped in there for strike two, as Aiden Johnson continuing his great work.
I'm not sure what they ended up deciding on the prize for. It was either going to be a T-shirt or a bucket of beer, so maybe it might be his pick.
I don't know. He looks like he's barely breathing hard after that, as that one's chopped foul right behind Billingsley's back number.
Come on, Jack. You got to show a better effort than that in the first edition of Beat the Bolt. You got to be able to win on our first try.
Well, I know that the intern crew is going to give him grief for not being able to leg out the win, as this one's grounded softly to the right side. Fielding cleanly is Runge. Firing to the covering Aiden Johnson in time. Aiden Johnson is just everywhere.
Hey, he played first base in high school. He knows about it, and as a full-time pitcher, got plenty of experience covering the bag. Connor Hammonds was just kind of caught in no man's land, and a good play there to recover the first out of the inning from Runge and Johnson.
Hammonds just had to duck out of the way of that throw coming from Runge to Johnson, but the first out of the inning comes in a 4-1 fashion, as that'll be the way it's scored. Matt Marsick steps in. Now maybe the only error of the ball game for Aiden Johnson comes on the throwback from Noah Cadena. He drops it off the mound. I've been so impressed with Aiden Johnson's start today. 2 hits, 1 run for the Zap, for the Spuds, as that one misses outside to Marsick for ball 2. 5 hits, 6 runs for the Zap, 5 of which coming there in the bottom of the second inning. 4 off the bat of Vince Palizzi, as that one just a bit outside for ball 3.
It'd be interesting if he still got some energy in him to play the field after it tonight. He plays a lot of games, a half game at third base when they slide far well behind the plate.
I think the only thing on Aiden Johnson's mind is trying to get deeper into this ball game. He misses outside with the 3-0 pitch. That was a very uncharacteristic at bat there from Aiden Johnson in terms of being on the mound. And now he's got Marsick on first with 1 out, and Elijah Reeves, who I have to imagine Elijah Reeves might have lost some wind on that incredible play in center field. I mean, he went full Stretch Armstrong out there to extend himself, and he came down hard on that outfield grass. And Aiden will miss that one low.
And we saw Reeves getting a little bit of treatment after the game from the trainer, and I mean, I'm sure he lost a lot of wind on that dive.
Came crashing back to earth, but he had the ball in his mitt, and that's all that matters to Elijah Reeves. Check on Marsick at first. Throw over not in time.
That was the 36th pitch of the day for Aiden Johnson, so still making very efficient work here.
These are 2 tough guys to double off as he checks on Marsick again. Throw over again not in time.
I like how Hammond puts down the tag every time, even if it's not going to be there. If he somehow trips or doesn't get that hand back in time, it's good practice.
And it's sure quick, too, with that tag. It's like he's swatting a fly. There goes Marsick. That one inside. Cadena couldn't get the ball out of the mitt, and there's a reason he didn't throw down. It's because Richard Gilmore says that caught a piece of Elijah Reeves on the way by. So Reeves will take his base, and now the Spuds in a little bit of business here. Hunter Billingsley coming up to the plate with runners on first and second and only 1 out.
That's not what you want there if you're Johnson. Now you got the 2 most dangerous runners on their team on, and you're going to have to work against Billingsley, who's also been a hot bat.
Perfect day for baseball here at Hyde Stadium as Hunter Billingsley climbs into that left-handed batter's box and swings and misses at strike one. That has been a diabolical off-speed pitch for Aiden Johnson today.
He might be working his way back into a pitching job the rest of the year, too.
Well, we said it when he played second base. If he's not careful, he's going to find his way out into that spot for the rest of the season. But now he's trying to earn his full-time starting pitcher role back with this great outing as he gets a swing and a miss from Billingsley on strike two.
This would be a huge out. Not have to worry about that double play with the two fast runners.
Force out at every base. Johnson way ahead in the count, 0-2. Billingsley choked up on the bat. Cadena setting up on the outside corner. That one missing low for ball one. And we've talked about pitchers looking rather comfortable out on the mound throughout this season. And Aiden Johnson looks about as cool as they come right now. Under 40 pitches as we're in the top of the third. Here's the 1-2. Swung on and missed for strike three. Got him on the curveball. That's the second out of the inning. And another strikeout in the arsenal of Aiden Johnson.
Just an impressive day here for Aiden Johnson so far.
Now he's got to deal with the designated hitter, Theo Cummer. Cummer sets up in the back of the right-handed batter's box. Will certainly make it tough to get to that curveball of Aiden Johnson. Johnson peeking back at Marsick at second. This one lifted high into the blue sky is giving chase as Farwell in foul ground underneath it. Makes a great snag along the left field wall and gets out of the inning. I thought that one was certainly going to make its way out of the ballpark, but Ty Farwell camped underneath it, stuck his glove out, and made the play for out number 3. We head to the bottom of the third. Zap still leading. It's 6-1 here at Hyde Stadium. We'll be back after this short break on River 92.7.
Looking for happenings in Central South Dakota? The Pierre Area Chamber of Commerce Community Calendar is your go-to for all the latest events. From entertainment to local benefits, community activities, and more, there's something for everyone. Email your event to contactchamber@pierre.org and it will be listed on the weekly calendar. To view the calendar, go to www.pierre.org. Let's celebrate together in the heart of South Dakota. The Pierre Area Chamber of Commerce, connecting our community one event at a time.
Doing a little spring cleaning at your house? I'm Val Keller, City of Pierre's Solid Waste Manager, letting you know the City Supply Swap program can help. We'll recycle cleaning supplies, paint, and other household chemicals you don't want anymore. Plus, you're free to take any products other people dropped off for recycling. The swap program helps our customers and keeps things out of our landfill. Supplies we accept include stains and sealers, pesticides, pool chemicals, typical cleaning agents, as well as oil-based paint, latex paint, and spray paint. For additional information, call 605-773-7434. Again, that's 773-7434 for more information about recycling your household supplies and paint. Let the City of Pierre help you get your home and garage cleared out and cleaned up for the summer months.
This public service message is brought to you by the radio stations of the DRG Media Group in Pierre.
Back here at Hyde Stadium, and a special occasion there, as I thought it was going to be my inning for a second. I got my innings mixed up. As we saw a very special moment there, an anniversary at the ballpark here tonight. Love is in the air.
A 6-1 lead here for the Zap. Where else would you rather spend your anniversary than at Hyde Stadium on a Monday night for a Zap game? And they're doing their best to make it a very special one with this 6-1 lead.
So Noah Cadena get that double, get his day started, and leads things off for the second straight inning.
See if they can continue their great work. They've loaded the bases twice in their first 2 innings. See if they can keep that theme running here. New pitcher on the mound for the Spuds. Fires in strike number 1. See Kylan DePorter for the second time in this series. DePorter tall and limber as this one is ripped towards Jack Opine. Great backhand play from his backside. Fires across the diamond, but Noah Cadena way too fast for Jack Opine. But you got to give him credit. That was a pretty impressive play with the glove.
And another very well hard-hit ball from Cadena. And Jack Opine has really been flashing the leather in this series and would have had to have made an incredible throw there to get him out from his backside.
I don't even know. He might have had to have a cannon over there, a literal cannon, to get Noah Cadena flying down that first baseline. Turning to square and bunt is Emiliano Curiel. He pulls it back and takes ball 1.
I mean, they do have a cannon, but he's out in right field. Is Cannon Billingsley getting another start for the Spuds?
Both of the Billingsleys out in the field today. We'll see if Curiel can turn the bunt this time. He pulls back again and takes ball 2.
It might be a situation kind of like Gladill yesterday. If he sees the infield come back in, maybe decide to put a swing on one of these. So they're still playing it pretty deep.
He's ahead 2-0, and he's going to take ball 3 high.
Might not have to swing it.
Maybe faking the bunt the first 2 times around paid off a little bit.
Like bunt dancing in MLB, man, getting in their head.
I wouldn't expect a bunt here on a 3-0 count. As that one catches a piece of the outside corner for strike 1. We haven't really seen many green lights on 3-0 counts yet this year, Dylan.
Yeah, and with a chance to get a free base runner, maybe more so in the 3-1, you might get your green light.
That's the count here. Curiel takes it high and inside for ball 4.
Hey, if you don't got to swing the bat and you can just walk to first base, you'll take that every day.
So it's been a running theme here for the Zap. They're getting runners on early, and now Gavin Frazier will come up to the plate with nobody out and a runner in scoring position and a 6-1 lead.
Third walk of the day for the Zap. He already got 6 hits, and it is just shaping up to be a very nice offensive day.
It's pretty incredible. That's only the 3rd walk here today for the Zap with 6 runs on the board. You've had bases loaded twice. And he takes ball 1 down in the dirt.
And in a lot of those, and I feel like both of those bases loaded, they kind of had some station-to-station hitting where you couldn't really advance a guy more than one base. And it's just been a very nice hitting couple of days for the Zap.
Well, the Zap have walked in 2 runs on offense. As this one is driven into center field, giving chases Reeves, turning, looking over his shoulder. Another outstanding catch in center field from Elijah Reeves, certainly saving a run. Jamie Habiger over on third base can't believe that he made that catch. I almost wonder if he's upset that Cadena didn't tag up on that play. I mean, it was driving Elijah Reeves back about as far as the warning track.
That one probably saved a triple with how deep that one was and the speedy Gavin Frazier.
Well, the problem with it was everybody was kind of staying put at their bases. Gavin Frazier almost lapped Emiliano Curiel in first base as Nick Golden takes ball 1 on the outside corner. What a weapon Elijah Reeves is in center field.
Yeah, that is 2 extra base hits that he has already claimed in this one.
And a couple extra RBIs he saved as well. Here's the 1-0 to Golden. Big swing and a miss at strike 1.
Golden trying to add some more runs here. I'm sure the Zap would love a run rule to maybe save some pitchers.
That's a great point. Here's the 1-1. Chopped up the middle. Going to be a tough play here to make. He's going to run out of the direction of the tag. And they're going to say that the runner at second is safe because he created his own baseline and Caden Wilcox was not able to apply the tag. Nick Golden was thrown out at first base, so some good umpiring in the middle of the field by Dylan Turner.
So an even better juke from Emiliano Curiel. Don't really think of that as a baseball skill, but evading the tag there, pretty impressive. And keeps the inning alive with the hot bat to the plate.
Well, you got to credit Emiliano Curiel for also creating that little curve around Caden Wilcox before he had the ball. Because once he has the ball, if you try to go around him, then you're out of the base path. But now Farwell will step in with another RBI opportunity, and he almost gets hit again. Noah Cadena and Emiliano Curiel standing at third and second. There's 2 outs, and the Zap's hottest hitter at the plate. Habiger wanting Curiel to get a big, deep lead over there at second base. That one runs up and in on Farwell for ball number 2.
We might see some green lights here for Farwell. If 2 outs, the walk wouldn't score anybody.
And, you know, if you're going to give the green light to somebody with a 3-0 count and 2 outs, it's Ty Farwell, who's been blistering the ball as of late. Here's the 2-0. High for ball 3.
And I think you got to give him the green light here. I mean, the walk gives you another base runner and brings Hammonds to the plate, but with how hot Ty Farwell's been, I mean, you got to give him a chance to add 2 to the scoreboard.
And I think Connor Hammonds really wants another opportunity to swing the bat with bases loaded. He went down looking the last time around on a 1-2 count, and Farwell did have the green light, and he swung at it and missed. So Dylan's crystal ball working just fine over there. Still a hitter's count, 3-1.
But they'll give it to him again here.
Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. He swung it with one hand. His right hand, his top hand, came off the bat on the swing. And now Kylan DePorter with an excellent opportunity.
Yeah, he just swung over that off-speed pitch. See what he tries to sit here on the 3-2.
See if DePorter can find the zone. Payoff pitch to Ty Farwell is swung on and missed for strike 3. So a good job by Kylan DePorter. He gets behind, he puts 2 runners on, but he gets out of the jam. Zap still in front, 6-1 as we head to the top of the 4th inning here at Hyde Stadium.
Thinking of travel? Pierre Regional Airport offers non-stop flights to Denver. Starting August 1st, book your destination at United.com. With United Mileage Plus, you can save more by earning miles when you fly from Pierre Regional Airport. 1-hour flights to Denver and the world beyond. Avoid the crowds, avoid the drive, and enjoy free parking when you fly from Pierre Regional Airport. United Airlines in Pierre starting August 1st. Skip the drive. Fly from Pierre.
We're good at making excuses for things we don't want to do.
I can't work late because my cat has a job interview.
Unfortunately, we're also good at making excuses for things we shouldn't do, like driving drunk.
There's nothing on the back roads but cows.
The truth is, there's no good reason to drink and drive. Not even if you stick to the back roads. If you drink, don't drive. No excuses. Brought to you by the South Dakota Office of Highway Safety, South Dakota Broadcasters Association, and this station.
If you're interested in becoming a valued sponsor of an Oahe Zap broadcast, you can contact us for more information at sports@dakotaradiogroup.com or call us at 605-224-8686.
Hey Zap baseball fans, it's Justin Cowart. If you're interested in a podcast that's sports and only sports, you need to check out Players Perspective. I have athletes and coaches from the South Dakota area and across the country, from the high school all the way up to the professional level. Come on and tell stories of their biggest and best moments of their athletic careers. If it's sports, you bet we cover it on Players Perspective Podcast, sponsored by Avera. You can find it wherever you find podcasts by searching DRG Media Group or on drgnews.com. Now, back to myself and Dylan Beach in the broadcast booth for some more Zap baseball.
All right. Aiden Johnson out for his 4th inning of work, and we've got a very special guest in the booth, Mr. Hudson Ivy. Welcome to the broadcast booth, Hudson.
Thanks for having me. How are we doing?
As Johnson misses for ball 1. And getting a chance to come up here and join us today. You weren't up for pitching, and we got a request to have you in the booth, so we figured it'd be the perfect time. As Johnson, the 1-0, runs in and hits the batter. Opine, the leadoff hit by pitch.
It's been a pretty good outing from your teammate Aiden Johnson here today.
Yeah, for sure. I think he's coming back. He's been grinding as we've seen at the plate, Had a couple bombs, doing good,
Been playing kind of all over the field. It's kind of unique to see a guy who pitches this well also playing third base. We saw him plugged in at second, and he looks like he fits perfectly everywhere he's been.
Yeah, for sure. I think at school he mostly pitched this past year, so I think he wanted to come in,
But this is summer ball. We get to try some different things around here.
For sure.
Zap working with a 6-1 lead. The 0-0 from Johnson. Swung on for strike one. He tried to check it. Don't think it would have mattered. I think that one was over the plate.
We also got to see another great arm out of the Zap. His father, Wyatt Gladill, running with the beat the bolt here today. I don't think Wyatt got his speed from his dad. That was a pretty impressive run there from Gladill's dad.
0-1 off speed in there for strike two.
I've always, growing up seeing that on the MLB, you always wonder who the freeze guy is,
Well, we were kind of curious. Should we reveal the identity of our beat the bolt run or not? Because at the beat the freeze, you never knew who it was.
Yeah.
Back in Atlanta, that's where I come from, so I'm familiar.
0-2, the runner goes. A throw from Cadena, good one. Runge not able to land in time and make the tag. Opine safe. It was a close play.
Sure was.
Throw, the pitch in was a ball. So count 1-2. But Cadena just about getting the runner there. Aiden Johnson going to have to settle back in now with the runner on second with nobody away.
Hudson, you have, we talked to Wyatt yesterday, but, I'm sure you've pitched in both scenarios, starting and coming in relief.
The 1-2 skips in for ball two, and Cadena able to keep the runner put.
But can you kind of talk through your difference of, your processes from when you're starting a game versus kind of being a reliever, not totally sure if you're going to come in that game, what your process is throughout the day, and kind of how those two differ?
Yeah, for sure. Kind of in high school, JUCO ball, I got a few starts here and there, but kind of as a starter, you know when that's coming.
As Johnson gets set for the 2-2. Off speed, down the middle, goes down looking. Another K there for Aiden Johnson.
But, as a starter, the couple days before you're about to go, you have that time to mentally prepare yourself, go out and do your job. So I think for me now, I'm a guy who can go 3 days in a row if I needed to be.
Really? Don't say that on the air because Jamie Habiger might hear that. We're running low on arms.
Yeah, but
as Johnson tries to keep his good day going. Yo-oh. That one belted. That one gets down in front of Curiel. We'll have to see the arm. Stop sign at third. Keeps Opine there. As they just move on along. Nice piece of hitting there from Cody Colossus.
More of a reliever now as I'm getting older, but I wouldn't mind a start and see how I would go out there and do. I know I could do it. I know I could get myself through 4 or 5 innings, but the reliever mentality is just it sits there with me. Coming in, hearing that song just fires you up, and you get to go, man.
Beer batter comes to the plate. Off speed in there for strike one for Johnson. We saw your nice celebration when you struck out the beer batter the other night. Was that planned or was that just in the moment?
Actually, Austin's dad was here in attendance, and he said if I didn't strike him out, he was going to let me hear it. So I figured I had to get it done.
As Aiden Johnson had the count the 0-1. Fastball checked into play. Runge can't get the tag. Tries to go to first. Out there in time.
What an outstanding play by Runge at second base. I mean, he throws it from his back belt loop, and he did a 360 spin. I don't know if he has any breakdancing in his background, but he sure showed some off there.
It was very similar to the play we saw last inning with Curiel avoiding the tag on the double play, but Runge able to get it over to first, and an impressive stretch out from Hammonds there at first in his first day out in the field.
Hudson, back to your point that you just made, are you saying that if you do get a start, we need to treat it like you're coming out of the bullpen as a reliever, get some music playing so you get pumped up? I never thought about that adrenaline rush that you get coming out of the pen with your song coming. As we've got a conversation going on between Dylan Turner and Richard Gilmore. And they're going to stick with the call on the field. The runner is out at first. The run does score, but you'll trade the run for the out there.
If they wanted our replay system, they'd have to pull up the YouTube stream. So I don't think we got that technology in the league yet, but they stand with the call. So 2 away for Johnson. 1 run comes across for the Spuds. And Hudson, I know we got some two-way guys on this team. You used to be a two-way. Any of that in the future here with the Zap?
You know, I'm actually making a decision within the next 5 to 6 days. I'll be coming back for the second half, so we'll see on that one for now, but definitely chances in the future coming.
Where would you be playing out in the field if you had your pick of the litter?
Anywhere, but you know, I played outfield till this past fall, so I mean probably there. I love, you know, chasing down balls, so.
I imagine you'd probably want to get set up in center field or right so you're not staring back into that sunlight in left field. Johnson misses a bit low.
And Hudson, I've been wanting to talk to you for a while. You're one of the sidewinders of this team. When did you kind of start doing that? Have you always pitched like that, or was something you kind of developed over time as Aiden Johnson gets set for the 1-0? Runner on second, 2 away, the off-speed in there for strike 1.
Yeah, so about right after JUCO, there was a guy on my team. He kind of threw subby, I guess, but I kind of sparked that idea, but there's a pitcher at Clemson.
Johnson gets set for the 1-1. Runner bouncing around at second. That one swung on a miss for strike 2.
Yeah, there's a guy at Clemson by the name of Lucas Malstead. He runs an Instagram account called Subby University, and I've kind of just, you know, picked up a lot of stuff from him. He was one of the #1 closers in all of D1 this year, so.
As Johnson, crowd on his side, the 1-2, misses low with the fastball for ball 2.
He just really, you know, brightened my mind, sparked it. He's just so aggressive, like the nastiest stuff I've ever seen. Like
not a bad guy to pick a few things up off of as well.
Yeah, for sure.
I was so excited when I saw that we not only had one guy who could throw kind of side sub, but 2. But Austin doesn't really throw a bunch of it out of sub, as that one misses outside for ball 3.
When do you draw the distinction between sidewinder and submarine pitcher? Because there is a constant conversation that goes on about where that arm slot is. Are all sidewinders submarine pitchers in your eyes?
For me, it's tough because
it's a very delicate distinction too.
For
Payoff,
sure.
Misses outside for ball 4.
For sure. For me, you know, in my mind, I want to be a subby guy, but I've only been throwing like it for about a year now. I started, you know, really getting there last summer, but really once I got to school, my new school this year at Upper Iowa, I really got with my coaches and kind of just set it in stone that I was just going to go to work on it, and, you know, it's kind of coming to fruition here. You know, I'm getting better now. I haven't pitched in a year, so, I mean, not too worried about like ERA and stuff like that right now, so just kind of trying to get out there, have fun.
More mechanics and stuff of that nature. And I'm curious too, is there more pitches you can throw out of that delivery? Are there less pitches you can throw? Is it about the same?
See, it's really crazy because every pitch I throw has like a second version to it. I feel like sometimes my 2-seam will be sinking and it's weird. I'll be like, wow. Why can't I throw that every pitch? Because it just drops right there at the bottom of the zone. But then sometimes my 2-seam will just be hard and inside. So, you know, whatever I'm having that day is kind of what I rock with. Like Lucas always posts stuff like, you know, you gotta focus on pitch to pitch rather than batter to batter, because you're going batter to batter. You throw a few straight bad pitches, you can't
Can't really bounce back from
yeah,
that.
Yeah.
2 away, runners on first and second for Johnson, trying to get out of the fourth. It's just that one run across. That one misses outside to Marsick for ball 1.
Have you ever thought about, in the middle of an at-bat, going back to your overhand throw to really try to get in the batter's head and make him just not have a single clue what's coming next?
Yeah, I have. Coach Devin has actually been talking to me recently, like just getting back up there. Like today in catch play, I was just throwing all over the top. So stuff was moving, if I'm being honest. So might have to see me if I come back.
That would be a crazy mind game.
We
would love to see that if you could pull that one off. I mean, it does sound like you spent most of your life pitching kind of with the overhand. Slot is the 1-0 from Johnson in there for strike 1.
I did get the okay from our GM Alex to play around with my arm slot a little, so I might have to.
And he was a sidewinder himself, so he might be able to have some tricks for you.
Yep, I have talked to him.
The 1-1 from Johnson, swung on and missed for strike 2.
So you went all the way up to the top of the ladder to get the okay from that one from the GM.
I actually didn't have to go get it. He came to me with it actually.
As Aiden Johnson looking to get back to the dugout. Has been an incredible day for him so far. Heading the count 1-2 to the oh-so-dangerous Marsick as he steps off for time.
Hudson, when we have guys up here in the booth, we always love to ask them, it seems like such a fun bunch.
Yeah.
Even in losses, it still looks like
yeah.
you guys have a good time. You want to speak a little bit about the camaraderie between the guys with the stories that you can tell, as we are on radio and on stream.
As Johnson gets him down looking.
Look at him. He's fired up.
Don't worry, we're going to stick right here. And we want to talk a little bit more about Aiden Johnson, but first we want to hear you talk a little bit about the team as these guys are really fired up after Aiden Johnson.
For sure.
gets out of the inning.
Hearing that, I'm already getting chills about talking about these guys. I've never been a part of a group like this. Reminds me of high school. I was on a powerhouse of a high school football team, and the guys are just, it's a tight group. Win or lose, we go out, leave the park, and we show back up. And we try to build the energy from, the start of the next day. It's really tough sometimes. We've been on a losing streak, but, these guys, they show up every day. They have your back no matter what. Last night I didn't have such a good night, but, I came back in the dugout. I was really frustrated, and, 5 or 6 guys just, already right there, pick me up. And that just kind of talks about this team. And as the season gets going, the second half, I know it's going to break through for the Zap. We're really getting together. We're starting to do stuff before pregame, and it's really starting to help. We kind of get out there really early and just have some meditation. Music's off. Park is whole quiet, silent, and you're just in your own space, and you feel the guys next to you. Everyone's locked in themselves, breathing, just feeling the air around them. I've kind of talked to the guys 2 nights ago, and I was just, this game is very hard to have success in. What is the stat? 3 for 7 is a Hall of Famer in the MLB or something.
You get 3 hits out of 10 times,
Yeah.
you're a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Or you fail 7 times out of those 10, you're still a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. And so, with these guys, right when we got here, I was just you could already feel the energy, such funny, just dumb, good old guys. It's hard to put a word on it, but it's been a fun month so far.
I wanted to talk to you about the pregame routine. I've been seeing some of you guys going out there. It's grounding, isn't it? What J.J. McCarthy does. You guys were all out there barefoot. Our producer, Eli Lewis, went out there and did it with you guys, too, earlier.
Yeah. So I guess you could say that came from me.
So
you seem like a pretty grounded guy after talking to you here for a couple minutes.
You could say that came from me. I kind of just, we've been on a losing streak. I had to mix something up. Kind of like finally just bit the bullet and, gave the guys a little speech, I guess, and kind of just said, like, screw it. Like, you got to show up to the ballpark. You got to become one with the atmosphere. Like, so you look over here, the broadcast might be able to see, but these mountains up here in South Dakota are just...
It's amazing.
I've never seen something like it. I've been to Colorado, but they're everywhere.
Hammonds, even in the count 1-1, offering from DePorter, swung on and missed for strike 2.
Yeah, when you think of South Dakota, you don't exactly think of the rolling hills we have here on the other side of the Missouri, but it's such a perfect backdrop. It's got to be fun playing in a ballpark like this.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And as Hammonds awaits the 1-2, off speed in there, goes down looking.
Hammonds is a new guy on this ball club, and it's got to be pretty hard for a new guy to come into an organization that he's not very familiar with the guys and the routine, and he's hasn't really struggled at the plate, but he's still trying to find his footing. What are some of the things you guys do to try to welcome him in?
You see, I haven't had the opportunity to talk to him a whole lot, but
well, he was just stepped off the bus like 3 days ago, so we don't blame you.
Yeah,
Lizzie watches strike 1 there,
but he's starting to talk and open up to us quite a bit. So I think he'll fit in good. I mean, first day yesterday, he put about 5 or 6 balls out in BPs, so I think we'll start to see some action come from him.
He had a very impressive day on the mound as well yesterday as Polizzi swings on that one, grounded to the third baseman across the diamond in time for the second out of the inning. As I don't know if I want to ask you, but what's kind of going through your process of maybe coming back for the second half of the season or not, or is that something I don't want to ask you about?
No, it's all right. It's just kind of what I want to do with the future, and going back to school. I'm supposed to have quite a few innings on my plate, so.
Jackson watches that one inside. I know a lot of guys, the report dates getting back to college are sooner and sooner, so completely understand if you're not with us for the second half, but I know all of us here in Zap Nation would love to have you back.
Oh, yeah.
As the 1-0 to Jackson, low for ball 2.
Hudson, it's amazing when you run through the roster, you see guys from all over the country, really all over the world. I mean, you got guys from Canada, you got guys from overseas. What was your process of finding this team and getting here in Pierce, South Dakota, of all places?
So I came back from school for the summer. Was planning on going to it's called KCSC, Kansas City Strength and Conditioning. It's just like a, baseball for whatever you need, pitching, whatever. And I didn't know what I wanted to do, but kind of wanted to just.
2-1 to Jackson. That one misses, or catches the zone, I should say, for strike 2. Thought that one ran a bit inside on Jackson.
I mean, this opportunity kind of came at the last second, as like, for me, God's just been kind of a big factor in my life, and
2-2
I kind of
from Jackson.
Kind of just leave it all up to him. With baseball, it's so hard to get in your head and think about your decisions and your future. So I kind of just leave it all up to him. And the last moment, Austin, we were at a dinner, and Jamie had texted him that he needed a few more pitchers. So
payoff pitch, swung on a miss from Jackson.
Kind of all just worked out for me.
Sounded like it was perfect timing for you to end up here.
For sure.
As Jackson goes down for the third out of the inning. Turn things back over to the top of the fifth. The Zap with a 6-2 lead, and Hudson, as rough as kind of the last few games have been, it's felt like momentum's kind of trended in your guys' direction these last few games. How do you guys trying to plan to really kind of keep this streak going a bit?
Just the energy in the dugout. As we've seen, like, past couple games, we starting, clapping stuff, whatever. It may not seem like it's always doing something, but, it always has a factor.
Yeah.
You're on the mound. When you're on the mound versus in the dugout, it's two different energies pumping. You're on the mound, you start hearing clapping, it kind of jitters you, I feel like.
Yeah.
As for me, at least. And so it's something we did at school. At my school, we kind of we were trying to fight to get in the playoff race, and guys will just be banging on stuff, banging on the dugout, and so I kind of just Baz started clapping, and so we just started going at it. Kind of just trying to get these guys fired up,
It feels like it's unified the crowd even, too, because they've been joining in on it and maybe getting them involved a bit, too, as they are just getting loud for this bucket of chicken here today.
Yeah.
It's the Long Branch Loud, baby. You want some free chicken, you got to get loud. We asked Wyatt. He couldn't really put an answer to it because he didn't know. Is there one guy that you think is kind of, don't want to call him a class clown, but the guy that keeps the energy up in the dugout more so than anybody else when things are kind of going south for you guys, that keeps it going?
Yeah, I'd say me or Baz.
Okay.
Baz is kind of the good cop. I kind of get a little pissed off, as I'd say.
The enforcer.
I get a little angry if guys are slacking down, getting a little lulls, but
you guys do have a very similar haircut. It's kind of like you're the same guy to split off into two personalities.
There you go.
As see Elijah Reeves back into the batter's box here for the top of the 5th inning. And we got first baseman turned pitcher Quinn Ludvigsen, a lefty on the mound for the Zap. His first offering to Reeves is in there for strike one. Good fastball in the outside corner.
I can't believe his coaches didn't let him pitch this last year. He said he was going to be a two-way, but the way he's been pitching it for us, it feels like he just belongs out there on the mound.
It's the 0-1 from Ludvigsen. Swung on, chopped foul down that third base line into the netting in front of the Spuds dugout. And, Hudson, as we kind of try to dance between pitches here, Ludvigsen working quickly, it feels like this team, more so than in weeks past, is the 0-2 to Reeves, just a bit high for ball one. Feels like this team is knocking on the door, is right there on the precipice of breaking through. There's
for sure
leads that you guys get out in front of, and then there's just that one bad inning.
For sure.
As the 1-2 coming from Ludvigsen is a bit high for ball two, but it feels like you guys are right there on the cusp.
For sure.
And maybe today is the turning point.
Yep.
Maybe those final 4 runs in 2 games previous and that win last night, you feel like you guys are turning a corner?
Oh, yeah, for sure. And Jamie always talks about,
So the 2-2 is in there for strike 3. Reeves goes down looking, has a couple words for home plate umpire Richard Gilmore as he makes the slow walk back to the Spuds dugout, first out of the inning.
For sure. It's kind of just he talks about, eliminating that one big inning. We went to Spearfish. We had that long stretch of 5 or 6 games, whatever it was. We had that one big inning that kind of had that factor on us. Got guys down.
First pitch to Hunter Billingsley, misses low for ball one.
So kind of just we've been really trying to eliminate that big inning and, just have ourselves that one big inning where we can have that momentum for a sec. We have it right now, kind of just that, 5-run spot there in the bottom of the second. Just really fires us up,
There's the 1-0 to Billingsley. That one ripped down the first base line, foul. Yeah, and we've talked about it on the broadcast. You guys feel like you can live with those 2-3-run innings giving up, and your offense obviously can strike in the matter of minutes. But do you feel like those 2-3-run innings are okay to have?
For sure. As a pitcher, you're not.
As this one is drilled towards center, underneath it is Curiel looking up into the blue sky, making the second out.
For sure. You always, I don't know, you always want to just...
you want to have the shutout every day, but sometimes it's going to happen.
You always want to have that, Aroldis Chapman juice where you're on it that day, but, every day is not going to come. You're going to give up those dink hits. I've had a couple hit off the second base bag. The lip here on our field bounced over Trey's head. It's tough, but
that was a very unfortunate bounce for you. Luckily, you were able to get out of that shortly thereafter.
For sure. And kind of for me, 2-3 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to bounce back from one of those things happening. And, kind of just framing things. You know, like, it's all right. Like, you know, smile, laugh about it. You know, Jamie kind of jokes with me, like.
The 1-1 from Ludvigsen.
As
pelts the bottom of the zone for strike 2.
He always just jokes with me when I come back in that you're just unlucky to get again. You know, I've had a few of those with spearfish, the spuds. It just happens. It's baseball.
People sometimes forget that it still is just a game.
Yeah.
The 1-2 from Ludvigsen. Grounded towards second base. Runge's got it. Patiently fires to first. And a 1-2-3 inning for Quinn Ludvigsen.
Still got that perfect ERA out of the first baseman.
Absolutely. Well, Hudson, we don't want to keep too much more of your time. We really appreciate you joining us in the booth.
Thanks for having me.
We don't want to keep you from all the fun those guys are having out there in the dugout. So thanks so much for
I appreciate
joining
it,
us.
guys. Thanks for having me.
Best of luck for the rest of the season.
For sure. Thank you, guys.
That was Hudson Ivy, who spent a couple minutes with us here. We're going to step away. We'll be back with the bottom half of the 5th inning right here on River 92.7.
The summer is here, and you know what that means. The Oahe Zap are back, and we at DRG Media Group are bringing you coverage of every Zap home game all summer long. You can hear all the home Zap games on River 92.7, or you can watch them live on drgnews.com at the River 92.7 station page. The Zap are offering you fans something new every single night. So get out to Hyde Stadium for some Zap baseball this summer. Purchase your tickets on oahezap.com or buy them at the box office. If you can't make it to the game, we've got you covered on River 92.7 Oahe Zap Baseball, brought to you by DRG Media Group.
Well, it seems like every time we've had a Zap ball player up here in the broadcast booth, it's brought good luck as the Zap still out in front 6-2. 1-2-3 inning from Quinn Ludvigsen sends us to the bottom of the 5th inning. Did he say anything there that maybe caught you off guard or that you didn't know?
I think it was him saying he's only pitched sidearm for a year.
I know. It looks like he's been doing it as long as Aiden Johnson's been playing second base.
That feels like something you have to do for a long time. But, I mean, if he can pick it up in a year, I can't wait to see what he'd be doing with it in another year. I mean, that's not a lot of time, especially with just a lot of practice reps at his college this year.
So big thanks to Hudson Ivy for coming up and
it's always so fun to have a player up in the booth.
Absolutely, and you know it's always tough to figure out who we're going to bring up because you never know who's going to be checked into the game. But Hudson Ivy was kind enough to spend a couple minutes with us, and Kylan DePorter back out on the mound for the Spuds.
We might have to go out there in the outfield with our shoes off one day and get grounded with the team.
Grounded, absolutely. That seems like it certainly worked for Eli Lewis over there. He seems pretty grounded.
He kind of did. I saw Eli out there doing it, and it kind of felt like he is kind of defeating the whole point. I saw him on his phone while he was doing it.
That's kind of the opposite. As the Zapper back up here at the bottom of the 5th inning, Trey Runge, who made the final out there in the top of the 5th, steps up and pokes one into shallow center field. Reeves coming in, and the speedy Elijah Reeves makes the play. First pitch, first out for Kylan DePorter. And DePorter's come in a pretty tough spot with a big deficit, but he's pitched well. He got out of a jam in his first inning of work and really hasn't let any other Zap base runners get on the base paths.
Man, you just want to see one of these get down for Runge. I mean, that one earlier just got robbed. I mean, that one, he was a bit under it, but he's been swinging it a bit better here lately.
Here's a bit of advice. Hit it away from the center fielder, Elijah Reeves.
That's good advice. I'd pay for advice that good.
As this one runs inside to Noah Cadena for ball 1. Stone Vasic wanting to know where that one missed with Richard Gilmore. Shadows without the clouds are making their way across the middle of the diamond here slowly but surely. As about one more inning, we'll have the pitcher covered up. That one misses low for ball 2.
Cadena just having a very impressive day. Already 2 hits for him.
Been a hit parade for the Zap. They've got 6 hits, 6 runs on the board today. Only 3 hits, 2 runs for the Spuds. As that one's down and away for ball 3. I think Noah Cadena, who's already got 2 hits, would be more than happy to take his base and maybe get off to the races here.
And you already have more runs than you had at this point yesterday with less hits, so some more fortuitous hitting today.
3-0, just a bit inside for ball 4. Well, it helps when one hit brings home 4 runs for you. As that's what Vince Polizzi did earlier in the bottom of the 2nd inning with his grand slam.
And Reeves out there in center really wanted that one to be a strike. A lot of the times you'll see a pitcher or a catcher contesting it, but he was out there in center field with his hands up, Wondering where that one missed.
Well, he's got the second best view of the strike zone out on the diamond behind the pitcher out in center field. 1 out for the Zap here in the bottom of the 5th, leading 6-2. And Curiel watches ball 1 run outside in the dirt.
It's just been another good performance for the Zap here, and with a chance to split the series, it would be huge.
Which it didn't really feel like the series was headed that direction after the second game.
Kind of felt like momentum was drifting out of your court.
As Curiel puts this one back through the first and second base side, and another Zap base hit has runners on first and second with just 1 out, and Gavin Frazier coming up.
And he is really coming alive. Curiel, man, he is swinging it good. A lot of infield hits, just hitting it where they're not, and that's kind of the identity of this Zap ball club.
2 premier center fielders in this series between Emiliano Curiel and Elijah Reeves. They're really living up to that name.
Man, it's really coming alive here in his second year of the Zap.
Gavin Frazier on cue towards second. That's going to be caught on the fly, and now they're going to tap second base for the double play. And for some reason, Caden Wilcox fired it over to first. Maybe trying to turn a triple play and get 4 outs, but that'll be the end of the inning for the Zap. Just an unfortunate little base running hiccup there by Noah Cadena, and the Zap come down with nothing. But we head to the top of the 6th. Zap still leading 6-2 here on River 92.7.
Hey, it's your phone talking. Yeah, your phone. You know, that thing you're constantly picking up and poking around. Listen, when you're behind the wheel, would you please give me a break? You'll have plenty of time for your TikToks and, I don't know, texting your friends after you put it in park. Distracted driving, friend. No joke. One quick text or social media feed can cause a crash. And hey, I don't want any part of that. You got someplace to be. And trust me, I'll enjoy the downtime. Brought to you by the South Dakota Office of Highway Safety and its station.
Dunes Golf is celebrating their 30th anniversary this summer. They look forward to seeing old friends and new acquaintances on the driving range and on the course throughout the summer. Play 9 or 18 holes, pay by the round, save with a punch card, or become a member for unlimited play. Dunes Golf is a great location for group outings or a summer play day. Call 605-223-2525 or see golfdunes.com. Just 1 mile north of Fort Pierre on Highway 1806. Dunes Golf.
Thinking of travel? Pierre Regional Airport offers nonstop flights from Pierre to Denver. From there, you can fly anywhere. Book to your destination and check bags through on United, Delta, or American Airlines. 1-hour flights on 50-passenger jets to Denver, then connecting to your destination. Save travel time and money, avoid the crowds, and free parking when you fly from Pierre Regional Airport. Skip the drive. Fly from Pierre Regional Airport.
Looking for happenings in Central South Dakota? The Pierre Area Chamber of Commerce Community Calendar is your go-to for all the latest events. From entertainment to local benefits, community activities, and more, there's something for everyone. Email your event to contactchamber@pierre.org and it will be listed on the weekly calendar. To view the calendar, go to www.pierre.org. Let's celebrate together in the heart of South Dakota. The Pierre Area Chamber of Commerce, connecting our community one event at a time.
Just saw the Brackey Financial money ball toss. Saw Vince Polizzi sink one of those last year. He had been very confident that he could do it again, and that wasn't his best effort on that last toss.
I don't know if we'll see a winner in that green bucket this season.
The buckets last year seemed a lot taller, like they might have had some more. I don't know. I don't know if it would be an advantage even to have the taller bucket, but it seems like they knock over very easy with how far away they are.
Someone needs to sneak a sandbag or something in there to keep some weight at the bottom of it, so if a ball does find its way in, it doesn't go toppling over like we saw the last time somebody drained one.
Ludvigsen back in for his second inning of work. Misses high there for ball 1. It'd be one thing if you were throwing like a bean bag or something, but I feel like a baseball, how much velocity it carries, just knocks it over too easy. As that one chopped back for ball or strike 1.
We saw some of those carnival runners that were over working the Oahe days here scoping that game out for their next scam trick.
They've got some games pretty close, like the softball toss into the bucket that's pretty much sideways. It's the 1-1 from Ludvigsen, drilled into left. gets down in front of Alex Jackson for a nobody out single.
And I know the Zap are leading here 6-2, and this feels pretty comfortable right now, but you would just love to get some more insurance runs on the board.
Especially with how dangerous this Casper team is at times. And, I mean, you've seen it. You've given up big frames to them before. And, I mean, the Zap themselves can put up a pretty big frame, but you don't want to get complacent even with a 4-run lead. Here in the top of the 6th. Off-speed misses high there for Ludvigsen for ball 1. He really mowed down this Spud lineup the last time we saw him out. He's got a runner on to deal with in Opine. He's been swinging a very dangerous bat himself and has been a very valuable part of this Spud defense as he got the day off yesterday. As Ludvigsen checks on him over there at first. So the first baseman checks with the first baseman. Ludvigsen, it still is just so odd seeing him out there on the mound after the great defense we've seen him play at first this year.
Well, you know, he doesn't really look the part either because you rarely see a pitcher with all that eye black on.
Yeah, and he had to have been prepared to pitch today as he got the day off as that one misses high for ball 2. You really don't ever see a pitcher with eye black like that, but maybe an intimidation tactic out of Quinn Ludvigsen, one of the nicer characters on this team, as he tries to get back in the strike zone as that one fouled way high and way out off that right field bullpen wall for strike 1.
And I understand, I like the move here by Jamie Habiger, not going to one of your, and this is nothing against Quinn Ludvigsen as a pitcher, but not going to one of your top prospects out of the bullpen here with that 4-run lead. Try to see if Ludvigsen can carry over a couple innings.
As he checks on the runner at first, and I don't even think that can even be much of a dig to Ludvigsen as...
I think he would say the same thing.
Yeah, as good of a pitcher as he's been an incredible first baseman. I mean, he's tied for the lead with home runs, and he's very impressive defensively at first base when that's not really a position known for their defense, but you got to make those good picks sometimes with a throw is low, and he has been certainly able to do that. As he checks on the runner once again, trying to keep Opine there at first with nobody away.
See that shadow now creeping across the mound. The reason that's so important is there's really no shadow in between there and the home plate circle. That creates a difficult proposition for a hitter.
That one hit towards right field. Runge was trying to chase after it, couldn't get there in time. Was hitting to no man's land. A bloop hit gets down. Runners on first and second for the Spuds. Nobody away.
Tough play for Runge to make. I mean, absolutely nothing he could do about it.
And Golden was back really deep on that one. Just couldn't make the play for him. Runge tried turning and kind of sliding and throwing his body at it and just couldn't get it in the glove. And just like that, a bit of a jam here for Ludvigsen to deal with. Cody Clausius, the first baseman today, comes to the plate. He's trying so hard to keep Opine over there at first after he stole earlier in the game, but he'll advance on the bloop single. Clausius shows bunt, puts it down. Ludvigsen chasing, fires to first, gets the out.
Outstanding play by Ludvigsen. That is where you really see a guy who doesn't pitch often make mistakes. Ludvigsen did that picture perfectly.
Yeah, and even sometimes...
And a tough play, too, to get over to that ball. A great bunt by Clausius.
Yeah. And even sometimes you see a guy who pitches every day have trouble with it. The bunt, it's not something you really prepare for all too much anymore. So it's kind of became a forgotten aspect of baseball, but Ludvigsen making it look routine on a very impressive bunt down that third base line from Clausius.
Sure hasn't escaped the minds of the Hastings Sodbusters. And really nice to see how the Zap have taken that downfall against the Sodbusters, who bunted all day long on him.
As the 0-0 from Ludvigsen swung on and missed. Strike 1 to the rear batter.
And the Zap have really kind of turned a corner in terms of their bunt defense. I think after that Sodbusters game, we haven't seen a bunt dropped on the Zap that hasn't generated an out somewhere on the diamond.
They've kind of implemented into the offense with kind of the Council Show bunt in as well, trying to maybe implement that with some of their faster runners. It's Ludvigsen, the 0-1. That one swung on a miss for strike 2. one strike away from getting some cheap beer here at Hyde Stadium.
And a massive out with runners on second and third. If you could get to 2 outs, then you can kind of almost vacate those runners out of your mind and just focus on the batter at hand.
Ludvigsen will see what he goes for the put-away pitch. 0-2. That one chopped by Wilcox. The play will be at first. In time, they trade the out for the run. Ludvigsen's ERA is perfect, no more, kind of tapping the chest, saying that one's on me, maybe missed the spot there, but still gets the out.
Yeah, and I think if you're Quinn Ludvigsen, other than blemishing up your ERA just a bit, you really couldn't ask for more there. I get it was an 0-2 count, but still getting a softly hit ground ball and getting the second out of the inning.
Yeah, and that is certainly a worthwhile trade. Still up 3 runs in the top of the 6th. Cannon Billingsley to the plate as the off-speed just misses for ball 1.
And now in a 3-run game, I'm interested to see when we get to the top of the 7th, if the Zap aren't able to post any more runs, who comes out. We see somebody down in the bullpen, but I have to imagine Habiger is going to go to one of his more trusted bullpen arms.
1-0 from Ludvigsen. Skied into left. Jackson chasing, sizes it up, and makes the play. Ludvigsen's perfect ERA is no more, but only allows 1. The Zap still hold a 6-3 lead. We'll be right back here at the bottom of the 6th.
Hey, it's your phone talking. Yeah, your phone. You know, that thing you're constantly picking up and poking around. Listen, when you're behind the wheel, would you please give me a break? You'll have plenty of time for your TikToks and, I don't know, texting your friends after you put it in park. Distracted driving, friend. No joke. One quick text or social media feed can cause a crash. And hey, I don't want any part of that. You got someplace to be. And trust me, I'll enjoy the downtime. Brought to you by the South Dakota Office of Highway Safety and this station.
Dunes Golf is celebrating their 30th anniversary this summer. They look forward to seeing old friends and new acquaintances on the driving range and on the course throughout the summer. Play 9 or 18 holes. Pay by the round. Save with a punch card or become a member for unlimited play. Dunes Golf is a great location for group outings or a summer play day. Call 605-223-2525 or see golfdunes.com. Just 1 mile north of Fort Pierre on Highway 1806. Dunes Golf.
Thinking of travel? Pierre Regional Airport offers nonstop flights from Pierre to Denver. From there, you can fly anywhere. Book to your destination and check bags through on United, Delta, or American Airlines. 1-hour flights on 50-passenger jets to Denver, then connecting to your destination. Save travel time and money, avoid the crowds, and free parking when you fly from Pierre Regional Airport. Skip the drive. Fly from Pierre Regional Airport.
Looking for happenings in Central South.
Back here in the bottom of the 6th inning, Zap trying to come up, add a couple more insurance runs. They lead 6-3. And Dylan, like a really good spot of this lineup coming up. Zap would love to add a couple more runs here.
Yeah, you got to get some more insurance. The Spuds have added the last 2 runs of this ball game and shrunk that lead from 5-3. And while that's still very safe, a couple of runners on, one swing could change things.
And the other thing, too, it feels like with the Zap having all the momentum early in the ball game, maybe shifted a little bit back towards the Spuds' direction. I think a couple hits and maybe a couple runs here would bring it right back to the home team side.
And you got the perfect part of the lineup to do so. The oh-so-hot Nick Golden to the plate, playing right field here today. And sometimes he can just be truly electric out on the field. A true grit player, loves to run the bases. We saw him reach on that ball that just confused the Spuds earlier as he swings and drills that one up. That one going to fly into the glove of Elijah Reeves. Just didn't get the launch angle on it. Really got a hold of it, but was just under it and kind of drilled it straight up.
Kylan DePorter's done a fantastic job with coming in a tough spot. And not really meaning tough spot with runners on base, but you come in and you're trailing 6-1.
It's easy just to roll over and just kind of not have your outing, but he's kept it where it's at. And if they get back into this ball game, they got to credit him. As Farwell watches strike 1. And kind of the danger of letting a guy get in here and get settled as he has been really moving well here. Zap haven't really been getting any sort of offense going in the last couple of innings. As that one skips in for ball one. They just about had it the last time. You had back-to-back hits from Cadena and Curiel, and then just a bit of an unfortunate base running mistake there from Cadena. Frazier lined out to the second baseman, and they got him for the double play. 1-1 to Farwell. In there for strike two.
And for Cadena, I think he was kind of fooled like I was fooled. The way that ball was, it looked like it was going to scoot through the middle of the infield and get down in center.
Yeah, you couldn't blame him for that one. It looked like it was hit hard enough to where it was going to get through and kind of just let up a little bit, and they caught him out in no man's land. The 1-2 to Farwell, chopped towards the second baseman, able to field it cleanly and get it to Clausius in time for the second out of the inning. Zap offense kind of going a bit dry here as of late. See if the newest man on the team, Connor Hammonds, can turn things around. Momentum still in the Zap's favor off that grand slam from Vince Polizzi. We know how quickly it can shift in the game of baseball. Hold a 6-3 lead. 7-hit day for the Zap. Off speed in there for strike one to Hammonds. He must be a fastball hitter because he has kind of had some chances over the plate with some of these off-speed pitches. As we heard from Hudson Ivy, put out some in batting practice. I'm sure he'd love to get his tally started. As that one misses inside for ball one.
Yeah, I was just about to make that point. Hudson Ivy said he poked a few out.
It is interesting. Some guys preferring to hit fastballs, some guys preferring the off-speed, and if you can get it out, that's all that really matters. The 1-1 to Hammonds fouled into the Hyde Stadium fencing for strike two. As it'll always be the loudest foul ball you can hit in this ballpark. The metal fencing backdrop with the beautiful Hyde Stadium sign. Got a cardinal on it right now. Maybe somebody visiting the ballpark. The 1-2 from DePorter. Swung on, fouled from Hammonds.
And that looked like the first swing at an off-speed pitch we've seen Connor Hammonds have today. So good to see him stay alive on that. It's one that's given him fits.
And that's the kind of pitch he's maybe taken in some of these previous at-bats. He's gone down looking a couple of times today. Maybe learning that lesson, staying alive there. The 1-2. That one misses out of the glove of Vasic for ball two. So we got a 2-2-2 here. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Porter trying to continue his excellent day in relief. Hack got hit early. DePorter already a longer outing than him with a lesser pitch count as that one grounded to the third baseman. Unable to keep it in the gloves, and Connor Hammonds' first hit of his Zap career.
Yeah, tough little in-betweener there for Hunter Billingsley and Jack Opine. We always say, the third baseman has the conviction over the shortstop. If he's able to get to it, that's his play to make. And a sliding stop by Hunter Billingsley. The way that Opine plays shortstop, I wonder if Hunter Billingsley might have wanted to let that one get through to his shortstop there, but
so it brings Polizzi to the plate. Scoreboard operator in Hyde Stadium puts it as an error. We'll see what Katie Acosta scores it at in the game changer.
That's the one I really trust is Katie Acosta.
Yeah, I think that's our official book every day. As I think that will go down as Hammond's first hit. That would have been a hard play to make regardless. Kind of an in-betweener between that third and shortstop. Would have been a hard throw across the diamonds as Polizzi sends that one back up the middle. Goes station to station with 2 outs. Bring Alex Jackson to the plate.
And that's a bat that you love to see getting hot in Vince Polizzi. Guy who went yard earlier on in the season and then kind of went quiet for the Zap. But his bat's starting to come back to life. And man, take your pick in this Zap lineup. Seems like everybody's starting to hit the ball and see the ball a little bit better here in this homestand.
Yeah, it has really been impressive as of late how this Zap team has started swinging the bat. An 8-hit day already. Jackson fouls that one off for strike one. I'm sure Jackson would love another nice swing like he's been putting on here lately. Had a couple unfortunate lineouts to the left fielder Marsick the other day, and then right to center field to Glover Reeves. I think it took about a combined 3 steps to catch those 2 balls as the 0-1. Fouled off for strike 2.
That rang Vasick's bell a little bit, that foul ball careening off his face mask. But he's a tough guy, up quickly.
Alex Jackson had a sack RBI earlier, also was walked earlier. So a chance here to add to his day. The 0-2 runs inside for ball 1. Got Trey Runge in the on-deck circle. He was unfortunate maybe not to have extra bases earlier on the Superman grab from Elijah Reeves. As Jackson, the 1-2, that one skips in for ball 2, and a nice block there from Vasick once again. He's really been impressive behind the plate. Doesn't feel like the Spuds have allowed one to get past him so far, and there have been a couple of candidates.
Yeah, he moves really well for a big guy back there. Very versatile, very agile behind the plate.
2-2 to Jackson. That one driven to the third baseman, and it skips off his glove. That's going to score Hammonds. And an insurance run there for the Zap in a crucial moment, and Alex Jackson keeping it going.
Yeah, and it kind of feels like that one was deserved by Alex Jackson after tattooing a couple that just went right to a couple Spuds fielders. And maybe Hunter Billingsley having a little bit of issue with that skirt out there at third and some sunlight in his eyes.
Sometimes it's not your day. The other night it wasn't Alex Jackson's day, but it has been his day the last 2 nights. He sent one into the outfield yesterday for an RBI in that huge inning that the Zap had, and he gets another RBI there. And this inning, potential to keep going. Trey Runge has been swinging the bat really well today as Matt Marsick out in left field having some trouble with his glove. Dropped it once, trying to take it off, and then just about dropped it again, as you want to make sure your outfielders have their gloves on. As 2 away, runners on first and second. Runge swings on that one and misses for strike 1.
I think he was trying to do his best Vince Polizzi impression, but with only 2 runners on. That was a home run swing right there from Runge.
Runge trying to get things going for him in this season. Part of a very crowded second base room. The 0-1. Swung on, driven to right field. That one going to get down. Trey Runge gets a hit. Vince Polizzi coming around to score. Jackson safe in at third. And Trey Runge finally finds real estate. Gets his hit after being robbed earlier. And you just love to see that for him.
Well, that's talk about no man's land. He put that right into the Bermuda Triangle behind first and second base and down in front of the right fielder out there, Cannon Billingsley. And again, 2-out magic from the Zap. It always helps when your runners can get a head start. And it paid it off there.
That ball just kind of died right into no man's land in that Bermuda Triangle. It went missing as Noah Cadena to the plate. That one in there for strike 1.
And I wonder if maybe from Kylan to Porter, if being a reliever type of pitcher and pitching this long, maybe he's starting to run out of gas a little bit here. Zap's starting to get to him, something they haven't been able to do all day.
That was his 60th pitch as Runge in there standing at second. So ahead in the count 0-2, but 60 pitches for a reliever is a very, very long day. That'd be a long day for some of the starters in the Zap team, as he's gone 3 2/3, trying to get out without allowing the bullpen to take over for him. But ducks on the pond here for Cadena, and he's been swinging it very impressively today. Already 2 hits for him. The 0-2 count. Going to need some 2-strike hitting. That one fouled off. He stays alive, and coach in the dugout unfazed by that foul ball. Went right between him and a Spud player. He didn't even flinch.
I see him with a notepad down there. He might not have even been looking. It was a very stoic move to stay put.
He probably just wrote down on his his notepad. That one was close. As Noah Cadena staying alive there. The 0-2. Skied into the left field. Marsick settling under it, makes the play. Kareen's back, gets the third out of the inning, but the Zap had 2 insurance runs, and the lead is back out to 5. They lead 8-3, heading to the top of the 7th.
Thinking of travel, Pierre Regional Airport offers non-stop flights to Denver. Starting August 1st, book your destination at united.com. With United Mileage Plus, you can save more by earning miles when you fly from Pierre Regional Airport. 1-hour flights to Denver and the world beyond. Avoid the crowds, avoid the drive, and enjoy free parking when you fly from Pierre Regional Airport. United Airlines in Pierre starting August 1st. Skip the drive. Fly from Pierre.
We're good at making excuses for things we don't want to do.
I can't work late because my cat has a job interview.
Unfortunately, we're also good at making excuses for things we shouldn't do, like driving drunk.
There's nothing on the back roads but cows.
The truth is, there's no good reason to drink and drive. Not even if you stick to the back roads. If you drink, don't drive. No excuses. Brought to you by the South Dakota Office of Highway Safety, South Dakota Broadcasters Association, and this station.
If you're interested in becoming a valued sponsor of an Oahe Zap broadcast, you can contact us for more information at sports@dakotaradiogroup.com or call us at 605-224-8686.
Hey, Zap lead 8-3 after a fruitful bottom of the 6th inning. Brings 2 runs across, and Quinn Ludvigsen, who we thought might have his day be done, is back out on the mound trying to pump some more heat here for the Zap. Welcoming you back to Hyde Stadium, Justin Coward alongside Dylan Beach. Perfect day for baseball. And the Zap Bats have come in tote as they have scored 8 runs on 10 hits. And the Zap pitching has held the Spuds to just 5 hits, scoring 3 runs. No errors yet for the Zap today, 1 for the Spuds. And Quinn Ludvigsen trying to keep that stat line right where it's at here for Oahe in the top half of the 7th inning.
And we talk about the crystal ball up here. We promise we don't actually have one, but, I mean, you called for those insurance runs, and they sure did deliver there, and gets that lead right back out to where it was after the grand slam, and makes you feel a lot more confident about facing the top of the lineup again with Quinn Ludvigsen out there.
As Matt Marsick digs in. Marsick's reached base a couple times today. And he takes strike 1 from Quinn Ludvigsen on a great breaking ball. As the Zaps start to win some games, the crowds start to fill up a little bit more each and every day. So that one misses high for ball 1. Plenty more Zap ball games to make it to here this summer.
Got to get out to the ballpark. I mean, it is a fun time. I heard people coming in today talking about how beautiful it was out.
As this one's driven into deep left field, giving chase is Jackson. Back to the warning track, up into the sunlight, makes the play. And Marsick is retired.
Alex Jackson just staying busy out there in left field these last couple of nights.
He sure has been. He's made a couple of great plays. We haven't gotten to see that patented Alex Jackson slide yet.
Might have to get that one in the patent office, get the trademark on it. I mean, he goes to it all the time. I mean, we even saw it on that ball that left the park, that foul ball yesterday. It was just trying to make a play on it if it did stay in the park.
As the first pitch to Elijah Reeves just misses a bit inside for ball 1. You go back to talking about this beautiful stadium and the beautiful backdrop. It's great to hear the players acknowledge that as well. You always want to be proud of the ballpark you play in. As this one swung on and missed for strike 1.
And it's got the beautiful backdrop for the hitters, and then the pitchers in the outfield, you get to see the Capitol building behind us. I mean, I wish, as much as I wish the Capitol was out in the outfield, it still is pretty to look at from the...
As this one's fouled back into the netting, quickly 1-2 to Elijah Reeves. And you add all of that up and you get the train rolling through. It's like you're playing a video game. I don't know.
It hasn't been here in 2 nights.
Yeah,
what is going on?
Behind. We saw a truck driving across the train tracks.
That was as close as we got.
Not as scenic as the 1-2 is grounded sharply to the third base side. Fielding cleanly is Farwell. Firing to first, and a great pick by Connor Hammonds at the first base bag. Gets the speedy Elijah Reeves by a step and a half.
Yeah, and as routine as that play looks, that is not an easy one to make with Elijah Reeves running. And a nice throw from Farwell and an even more impressive stretch there from Hammonds.
Doing his best Freddie Freeman impression. Freddie Freeman one of the more limber first basemen in the MLB. Almost pulled a Dylan Beach there. Is that what
we're trademarking vocal mistakes now? That one, I don't know if I want that one compared to Alex Jackson's slide out in the outfield.
Well, we heard worser in the pregame from Dylan Beach. That one is swung on and missed. That didn't even get across the plate. Quinn Ludvigsen had Hunter Billingsley fooled 2 times over on that pitch. It's 0-2 with 2 outs.
We weren't even on air for worser. That one was from before the broadcast.
That might have been a bit of a low blow from me. I apologize for that one. Here's the 0-2. Up high, Billingsley had to move a little bit out of the way.
And that pitch was way above the belt. But, I mean, talk about punching below it, Justin. Come on, man. We're partners.
Dylan's my buddy. He knows that I only call him out on things because I like him. Here's the 1-2 from Ludvigsen, and that one fouled into the net.
This will be a very impressive exchange from Johnson to Ludvigsen if he can keep going and get 3 innings of himself today. Maybe set up the Zap to only have to use 3 pitchers.
Well, here's something I've never seen before in a bullpen. The Zap have I guess you could call it a faux hitter, as this one's grounded down the first base line just a bit foul.
I don't think I've ever seen that before either.
They've got one of their bench players down there with a helmet and a bat acting as a left-handed hitter for the pitcher warming up. You know, you've seen those plastic cutouts of a hitter that they'll stand up to try to give you an idea of the strike zone. The 1-2 swung on and missed, and Ludvigsen gets him down swinging. Billingsley arguing with Gilmore, saying he fouled that ball, and now Billingsley is incensed, and he bumps into Richard Gilmore on his way back to the dugout. Gilmore is going to check with Dylan Turner on the foul tip, and Billingsley better be careful. We haven't seen a player run here at Hyde Stadium, but he is barking back at our 2 umpires, and now Dylan Turner and Richard Gilmore are going to have a conversation. And Gilmore's going to deliver the bad news to the Spud coaching staff. That's out number 3. Zap head to the bottom of the 7th with an 8-3 lead here at Hyde Stadium.
The summer is here, and you know what that means. The Oahe Zap are back, and we at DRG Media Group are bringing you coverage of every Zap home game all summer long. You can hear all the home Zap games on River 92.7, or you can watch them live on drgnews.com at the River 92.7 station page. The Zap are offering you fans something new every single night. So get out to Hyde Stadium for some Zap baseball this summer. Purchase your tickets on oahezap.com or buy them at the box office. If you can't make it to the game, we've got you covered on River 92.7 Oahe Zap Baseball, brought to you by DRG Media Group.
Well, there's a lot of smiles in the ballpark today, but one of them is not being worn by Hunter Billingsley. That's about as mad as we've seen him. He thought he foul-tipped that ball on strike 3 from Quinn Ludvigsen. The home plate umpire, Richard Gilmore, rung him up. And credit to Noah Cadena, he tagged him out after the final pitch there. And everybody on the Zap defense made their way back to the dugout. And Hunter Billingsley was left very frustrated with Richard Gilmore. Dylan Turner and Richard Gilmore got together, had a conversation about the play, but they stuck with their original call, and the Zap are out of the inning with a 5-run lead.
Yeah. You saw Dylan,
the bottom of the 7th.
And you saw Dylan Turner during that kind of shaking his head no, like, I think maybe Billingsley maybe thinking it was foul-tipped because maybe Cadena tagged him with the ball afterwards. I thought Cadena kept it in the glove the whole time, so that would have negated the foul tip, but maybe he thought it snuck out of the glove of Cadena, but just about got into some trouble, and he kind of got a little angry and bumped into Richard Gilmore.
It was an all-around close play. You know, we're talking about things we really haven't seen at the ballpark before. We see, you know, a hitter still down there standing in the bullpen.
Saw that one off the end of the bat, too. I mean, it's been a strange day.
We see some cowboy hats in the Zap dugout. And another thing I've never seen is a third base coach and a head coach in Jamie Habiger wearing cowboy boots. But it is Western wear day. And we've got a new pitcher out on the mound for the Spuds. It's Dryden Cosins.
First time we've seen him this series, I believe.
A couple first-timers out here today. Of course, Caden Wilcox getting his first start in this series.
We saw Reeves on the bump, too. I mean, I didn't think we'd see that this series. He's so dangerous out in the field. I mean, he did have a nice fastball on him yesterday, but he came in at a pretty losing effort there yesterday. Didn't really have a chance to swing the tide in that one.
Yeah, he came up in a kind of mop-up duty. And Cousins will face off with Emiliano Curiel, the 9-1-2 due up for the Zap. Curiel climbs into the right-handed batter's box, and he chops the first one foul.
Curiel just kind of catching fire these last few series. Has had a couple of 2-hit days. Be huge to get another bat really rolling out in the outfield with how good he is defensively.
Big gap right up the middle half of the infield as Curiel ducks out of the way of that fastball.
I don't think he needs a haircut. That one was heading towards the head.
Got to stay on your toes here at Hyde Stadium. The 1-1 pitch. Lifted foul into the caging behind, curling and making its way towards our fans. And it bounces right to one lucky fan who keeps it away from her sister. Said, that slushy is mine. So Curiel behind 1-2 with nobody out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. And he grounds that one up the middle, and he almost gave Cousins a haircut, as Cousins had to drop down to his back number to get out of the way of that one. And Curiel, right on cue, bounces it up through that gap between shortstop and second base, and he's got yet another base hit. It's the 11th of the day for the Zap.
Had another 2-hit day at the park for Curiel. He walked his other 2 times up, and this has just been an impressive day for him.
So back up to the top of the order, and Gavin Frazier. A lot of fans enjoying this winning effort thus far here from the Zap. And that one is worn by Gavin Frazier on the back, right in between the shoulder blades on a breaking off-speed pitch. And another hit batsman for the Zap, but that means another base runner for the Zap, and nobody out. Runners on first and second for Nick Golden.
I think Nick Golden maybe in the on-deck circle being like, thankful it wasn't me this time.
I think at this point in the season, everybody's used to getting hit by pitches if you're wearing a Zap uniform.
It's like you're wearing a target on your back.
Golden turns to bunt, drops one down. It's going to be a play to first for Cousins. He fires over and gets Nick Golden. Thought he might have had an opportunity to get Emiliano Curiel over at third with the force out, but he never took a peek. So it will be an out for the Zap, but now they've got 2 runners in scoring position. And the hot-hitting Ty Farwell coming up to the plate.
Yeah, and that's good small ball right there. Move the runners over for the hot hitter and Farwell and see if you can get a bit more insurance.
We've seen a couple Zap hitters square to bunt, but never actually offer. But a perfect play there from Nick Golden, and now Farwell has a chance to really pile it on here. He takes ball 1 low.
I mean, one swing, he could walk it off here. Get the run rule walk off. Oh my gosh, I can't do math at all.
Yeah, you kind of walked into that one. You need 10 runs to get the run rule. It is 8-3.
I don't know what I was saying there. Math is not my strong suit as a media major.
Count runs 1-1 to Farwell. That one taken outside. Good eye.
I don't know if I was thinking there's an 8-run run rule, but I know in some leagues it drops from 10 to 8, but that is certainly not the rule book this year, as the run rule is new this season, but it is certainly 10 after 7. So we need a couple more swings to get there.
Here's the 2-1 to Farwell. Fouled off through his legs. Count even at 2 apiece.
Love to get some regardless. See if you can maybe sneak through this game with just 3 pitchers. Let Braxton Plemons come in and close things down.
We'd love to be at the ballpark for all 9 innings, but you know Jamie Habiger would love to save some of those arms with the Plainsmen coming in. Only one off day here coming up until June 30th. The 2-2 to Farwell. That one's fouled off of his right leg. He's feeling that one a bit. That missed all of the padding.
And the protection is nice for some things, but it's not exactly a suit of armor, and it's going to miss a lot of the time when you got long legs like Farwell.
You're going to need one of those catcher's pads if you're Ty Farwell. Goes all the way up to the knee. Even then, it probably only makes it up halfway to the shin.
You need some chainmail pants.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. Ripped up the middle. That's going to score 2. Here comes Curiel in for 1, and Gavin Frazier taps the plate for 2. The ball gets away, and now Farwell's going to get to second. The throw coming in. He slides. He's in there safely. So a Little League double for Ty Farwell that scores 2, and now the Zapper in front 10-3.
Nice awareness there from Farwell. There was no one covering first, so he could get as much of a leadoff as he wanted as he was waiting for that ball to find its home, and just a heads-up play.
First baseman was trying to back up the throw coming in, so he wasn't at first to kind of keep Farwell close, like Dylan said. And the ball got through about 3 Spud defenders somehow, and Farwell, keeping his eye on the play, not taking anything for granted, took off. It looked like Coach Wiggins over there on first was about to have a heart attack. But Farwell was able to get in there safely, and now he's taking off for third. The pitch is a strike. The throw down to third is not in time. So Farwell, with a little bit of adrenaline rushing after he took second base, carried that over, and now he's stolen third.
See if he goes for home.
Wouldn't put it past Ty Farwell. And here comes the Spuds infield as they're all standing on the skirt trying to prevent yet another run. Maybe they think the run rule could be in effect with 8 runs here. As that one is worn by Connor Hammonds. Another hit batsman off the arm of a Spud.
He probably didn't want to wear that one. He probably wants a chance to swing the bat and get some momentum here in his young Zap career. But
so it's not been a very fortuitous outing for Dryden Cousins, as there will be a meeting on the mound, and now we are one swing away.
I was about to say, I'm not a math major, but I know it's one swing away now. And talk about a guy who could do it.
Well, while we're in the break, we'll take you around the MLB currently. The Twins are just not having the best month of June. They've lost 9 of their last 10 ball games, and they aren't in great shape right now. They're losing 7-2 to the Mariners as they head to the 8th. Reds are leading the Yankees 4-1. The Braves are beating the Mets 3-2. They just got done sweeping the Mets. And I would be a bad partner if I left my buddy hanging. The Cardinals are beating the Chicago Cubs 8-2 at the end of 7. So Vince Polizzi trying to end it early. Takes ball 1 inside. They're going to stick with Cousins on the mound. They do have an arm up and working in the bullpen.
And I think if you're Casper, you probably don't want to have to use that guy tonight either if you can kind of save some of your arms for your future series as well.
The Spuds in 3rd place in the ILB as Polizzi with a big swing and a foul back over the fence. Only 1 out here. The Zap scored 1 in the bottom of the 1st. The Spuds answered with 1 in the 2nd to tie it up. But then the Farwell hit by pitch with bases loaded, and then the Vince Polizzi grand slam put up a 5 spot in the bottom of the 2nd. As Polizzi foul tips that one into the shin plates of Stone Vasic behind home plate.
Spuds don't have a day off until the 30th. Got 6 straight at home versus Hastings and Fremont, so you're going to need to save some arms too.
6 games against Hastings. Talk about running into a buzzsaw. Zap would score 2 more in the 5th, 2 more in the 6th, and then they've scored 2 here in the 7th. And now Polizzi puts a charge into 1 into left. That one's going to get down in front of the wall. Here comes Farwell. Hammond's on his way to 3rd. He's going to be in standing, and it's 11-3 Zap. Vince Polizzi continuing his dominant day. He's got a grand slam. Now he's got an RBI double. It's his 5th run driven in today.
If there had been some wind to help him, he might have had a second, but just kind of lost its energy there.
It was a low trajectory shot, but it had all the power that he needed. And now Alex Jackson, with runners on 2nd and 3rd, could end the game with 1 swing of the bat. 10 runs yesterday for the Zap, 11 runs here this afternoon.
The infield
misses down and away for ball one.
And if the infield ends so much, if he could just charge a single at one of them, might be able to end it like that.
Vince Polizzi, not the fastest guy out there, but you know he's going to be chugging. Again, only one out. Here's the 1-0 to Jackson. He chops that one right back to Caden Wilcox. Wilcox looks the runner back at third and tosses it to first for the second out of the inning.
Smart play there from Wilcox, keeping Hammonds over there at third. And what I was going to mention before the out was with the infield in, they were going to be able to get such a big lead off if they could get one through, as Andrew Phillips going to come in for the DH Polizzi to run. And credit to Vince Polizzi. He's a capable runner, but not near as fast as Andrew Phillips.
And Jamie Habiger knowing that the speed out there at second base is important. It's more than just the confidence of knowing that you run ruled the third best team in the league. It's about knowing that you get to save those arms out of the bullpen. This one driven into left field, giving chase back to the wall, looking up into the sunlight, and almost a collision, but Matt Marsick makes the play and records the third out of the inning. But the Zap score 3 more. They lead by a ton. It's 11-3 as we head to the top of the 8th here at Hyde Stadium.
Looking for happenings in Central South Dakota? The Pierre Area Chamber of Commerce Community Calendar is your go-to for all the latest events. From entertainment to local benefits, community activities, and more, there's something for everyone. Email your event to contactchamber@pierre.org and it will be listed on the weekly calendar. To view the calendar, go to www.pierre.org. Let's celebrate together in the heart of South Dakota. The Pierre Area, connecting our community one event at a time.
Doing a little spring cleaning at your house? I'm Val Keller, City of Pierre Solid Waste Manager, letting you know the City Supply Swap program can help. We'll recycle cleaning supplies, paint, and other household chemicals you don't want anymore. Plus, you're free to take any products other people dropped off for recycling. The swap program helps our customers and keeps things out of our landfill. Supplies we accept include stains and sealers, pesticides, pool chemicals, typical cleaning agents, as well as oil-based paint, latex paint, and spray paint. For additional information, call 605-773-7434. Again, that's 773-7434 for more information about recycling your household supplies and paint. Let the City of Pierre help you get your home and garage cleared out and cleaned up for the summer months.
This public service message is brought to you by the radio stations of the DRG Media Group in Pierre.
Back here at Hyde Stadium, where we have the YMCA going on. Always a fun day at the ballpark, and it's a lot more fun when the Zap are leading for the YMCA. Crowd getting into it here today. This crowd feeling more and more unified every day as they're really kind of getting behind this Zap team. I think some of those claps have really been something for them to kind of latch on to as well, Justin.
Well, that and when you score double-digit runs in back-to-back games, I think fans can latch onto that pretty easily.
Yeah, that rally the other night, they couldn't come up with the win, but it felt like things were shifting for the Zap.
It really did, didn't it? I mean, those last, not just that last inning, but those last 3 innings, they scored 1 in the 7th, 2 in the 8th, and then 1 in the 9th, and felt like they might be right there. And you go back to some of those innings in those games that just didn't work out, where you gave up more than you were hoping for. I think they had a 5-run inning in that ball game, and then 2 more that kind of felt like things were done. It was a 7-2 deficit, but the Zap never gave up. They kept fighting, and it felt like they might have found something in those final couple innings.
And while that one goes down in the record book as a loss, I feel like if they get on a run, you can kind of look back later in the season and maybe point out as that being the spot where things kind of started trending upwards for the Zap. As Braxton Plemons, the new pitcher on the bump for the top of the 8th. His first offering misses low for ball 1. Got 2 professional photographers here. We've got a third. I don't know how much photography experience she has, but Braxton Plemons' mom's trying to get all the shots. As that one chopped foul down the third base line for strike 1. As She's been with the team for a while, getting to visit and kind of travel around and see all the sights of the Great Plains. Get to see her son play for the Zap. As the 1-1. Swung on a miss for strike 2.
That's another great off-speed pitch for Braxton Plemons. We saw that out of Aiden Johnson to start the game. And, you know, with all this offense, you don't want to get lost in the shuffle how good Aiden Johnson was today.
For sure. The 1-2 from Plemons. That one driven. Trey Runge making a spectacular grab. I've never seen anything like it. A 360 and Trey Runge getting up for that one.
He sure climbed the ladder to get to that one, didn't he, Dylan? That was unbelievable.
Oh, my goodness.
That even drew a tip of the cap from Naruto Saito rocking that Mountain Dew cowboy hat today.
Got Nick Golden running in from right field to congratulate him, as that one drilled down the third baseline foul from Opine. And it was an incredible day for Aiden Johnson. 4 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned, and 5 strikeouts for Aiden Johnson in an outing that was maybe a bit unexpected for him, as the 0-1 from Plemons. That one swung on a miss for strike 2.
Well, and Johnson, too, in that first inning, throwing only 7 pitches, a stark difference from every other start we feel like we've seen here.
And then he passed the baton off to Ludvigsen. A good day for him as well. Look at that stat line after the 0-2 from Plemons. That one skips in for ball 1. Nobody on base, but a good block there from Cadena. Always good to stay loose and get that practice in a low-stakes situation. Ludvigsen, 3 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 run, and 2 strikeouts for the first baseman two-way, as the 1-2 from Plemons misses low for ball 2. Counts evened up at 2 apiece. Now Braxton Plemons trying to be the last pitcher the Zap used tonight. A couple of guys getting loose in the bullpen. If he could get a low count, they could maybe save him for another day, as that 2-2 in there. Opine goes down looking, and Braxton Plemons quickly 2 away, and maybe a chance to get out of this 1 inning and maybe save himself for another series down the line.
Well, the other thing that you could do, too, if you're the Zap, is go 1-2-3 here and just poke 2 across.
Yeah.
And then you don't even have to make the decision if you're Jamie Habiger.
9 pitches, 2 outs for Plemons, thanks to a spectacular catch from Runge, as that one runs inside for ball 1.
You know, it's pretty hard to get an electric line out to the second baseman, but Trey Runge climbing up the ladder, getting about 2 feet off the ground and doing a 360 in the air to make the catch.
The 1-0 in there for strike 1, and that was, we've seen a lot of great defensive plays. That Emiliano Curiel kind of tumble that he made out in left field comes to mind, and then that one will certainly be in the highlight reel for Runge, as the 1-1 from Plemons misses off the plate for ball 2.
Well, not just this season, but in this game alone. Don't forget the 2 really outstanding catches that Elijah Reeves for the Spuds has made in center field today.
Yes, certainly. He feels like he can always bring in those with his speed and glove, as that one drilled, kind of lost it in the shadow for a minute as Alex Jackson settling under it, flies out for the 3rd out of the inning. Zap need 2 to end this one in the bottom of the 8th. They lead 11-3.
Hey, it's your phone talking. Yeah, your phone. You know, that thing you're constantly picking up and poking around. Listen, when you're behind the wheel, would you please give me a break? You'll have plenty of time for your TikToks and, I don't know, texting your friends after you put it in park. Distracted driving, friend, no joke. One quick text or social media feed can cause a crash, and hey, I don't want any part of that. You got someplace to be, and trust me, I'll enjoy the downtime. Brought to you by the South Dakota Office of Highway Safety and its station.
Dunes Golf is celebrating their 30th anniversary this summer. They look forward to seeing old friends and new acquaintances on the driving range and on the course throughout the summer. Play 9 or 18 holes, pay by the round, save with a punch card, or become a member for unlimited play. Dunes Golf is a great location for group outings or a summer play day. Call 605-223-2525 or see golfdunes.com. Just 1 mile north of Fort Pierre on Highway 1806. Dunes Golf.
Thinking of travel? Pierre Regional Airport offers nonstop flights from Pierre to Denver. From there, you can fly anywhere. Book to your destination and check bags through on United, Delta, or American Airlines. 1-hour flights on 50-passenger jets to Denver, then connecting to your destination. Save travel time and money, avoid the crowds, and free parking when you fly from Pierre Regional Airport. Skip the drive. Fly from Pierre Regional Airport.
Looking for happenings in Central South Dakota? The Pierre Area Chamber of Commerce Community Calendar is your go-to for all the latest events. From entertainment to local benefits, community activities, and more, there's something for everyone. Email your event to contactchamber@pierre.org and it will be listed on the weekly calendar. To view the calendar, go to www.pierre.org. Let's celebrate together in the heart of South Dakota. The Pierre Area Chamber of Commerce, connecting our community one event at a time.
Bit of Dixieland delight to be had here at Heinz Stadium here today.
I always love hearing Dixieland delight.
I knew you would, Justin, as we have a couple Alabama fans here tonight and one honorary one in the broadcast booth in Eli Lewis.
Listen, when you got to root for Kentucky sports, especially the way that Alabama's basketball program has been headed lately, it's all right, Eli, you can join us.
As OO runs over Kadena for ball one. Got a couple of guys warming up for the Zap in the bullpen. It's Brady Glenn and Estevan Baca. I'm sure they would love to not have to use either. As the 1-0 ducks out of the way for that one for ball two.
You really couldn't script a better night at the ballpark than this right here. I mean, this is just a gorgeous evening. Zapper leading 11-3. Good fans in attendance. And it's Western night.
2-0, drilled from Kadena. Marsick gets down in front of him. He was reeling in, couldn't get there in time. It gets down in front. And what a day for Noah Kadena. A deep, deep catching room. And it's just getting deeper with Garen Gladill coming back. And he is really proving why he's deserving some time in this catcher room. And it has been a great, great day for Noah Kadena. His third hit of the ball game. His only other at-bat he walked in. As it brings up Emiliano Curiel as that one comes in high on him.
And, you know, we talk about it a lot with all of these guys and how crowded the catcher room is, the second base room. You got to take advantage of your starts when you get to go out there. That's exactly what Kadena has done today.
The 1-0 in there to Curiel turns 2-0. And it's always important to make coach. Making the lineup card shouldn't be easy with this deep of a team. And if you can make them second guess, and that's a good problem for a coach to have. 2-0 here to Curiel. Another one inside for ball three. Oh, that one in there for strike one.
It was that late call by Richard Gilmore that got you.
As Emiliano Curiel still ahead in the count. 2-1. Kadena on first. Nobody away. And that one runs inside and gets him. So he'll take his base. And with runners on first and second, Gavin Frazier to the plate. An extra base hit could maybe end things here.
And back to the top of the lineup for the Zap. Right where you want to be.
And I'm sure all these fans are having a great time at the ballpark. But I am sure this coaching staff would love to not have to use another arm. Braxton Plemons only had 13 pitches. So he should be good to go as soon as he can, as that one grounded to the third baseman. He can't get there in time. Everybody safe, and I cannot believe that one. I thought Noah Kadena would be there in time, but he gets tagged out at the plate, and there might be a discussion about that one.
It was sure close. I thought he slid in there in time, too.
They get the lead runner there. Billingsley was kind of having a hard time handling that one, and Kadena looked like he slid in, but it was a bang-bang play. Do not envy the umpires having to make that call. But still, speedy runners on first and second with Curiel and Frazier. As Nick Golden, that one going to be stopped at third base. Everyone going to be safe. That one was trending down that line. That one could have been the extra base hit to end it.
Great stop by Hunter Billingsley to dive and just knock it down with a glove. He didn't get anybody out, but with fast runners on second and third.
Yeah, that one almost certainly keeping this game going, as that one was heading towards the visiting team bullpen, and with how far Marsick has to shade towards center field with that big gap to 383, that one almost certainly would have scored enough to end this game. As Ty Farwell comes to the plate, bases loaded, swings through that one for strike one. Zap need 2 more runs to end it here in the 8th. With the newly implemented run rule in the ILB this season, a chance to maybe save another arm, get all the players home early. As the 0-1 here to Farwell. Runs high for ball 1. And 3 very fast runners on. Force out everywhere for the Spuds. Be kind of hard to pick out a spot to turn a double play, especially if every runner going to be going. As that one going to get down. Gavin Frazier going to be held at third. He sure wanted to run in. But they'll go station to station, and the Zap just need one more hit or a sac fly to go home here early.
And a nice job again by Ty Farwell, who just continues his great work. Letting that ball travel, just slapping it back the opposite direction.
It is going to be a hard decision for the player of the game tonight. So many guys deserving of it today, as Ty Farwell, a 3-hit day of his own, as it brings Connor Hammonds to the plate. Bases loaded, 1 away as he fouls that one off for strike 1.
We talked to Hudson Ivy about how Connor Hammonds has been able to kind of mesh into this group here early. And what would be kind of an unconventional walk-off would be a pretty cool way to get his team jumping up and around him, and he certainly would get the Gatorade bath if he could do it here.
The 0-1 here to Hammonds. That one inside for ball 1. Hammonds already wearing 2 pitches in this game. A third would walk it off painfully.
That would almost be poetic, the way that this Zap season has gone, the way that they've been hit by pitches.
If he could get the hat trick and hit by pitches. Not the hat trick you want. The 1-1. That one certainly deep. Marsick under it. Frazier tagging. And this ball game is over. The throw is off the line. Hammonds walks it off in the bottom of the 8th. The run rule walk-off, and the Zap ends things early, and they're swarming Hammonds.
Well, it was very unique as he gets showered in the water bottle getting dumped on top of him. Very subdued reaction from Connor Hammonds. You know, he's probably so hard on himself he thinks, boys, I didn't even get a hit. It was a sac fly, but nonetheless, it wins the game for the Zap. Back-to-back wins against the third-place team. This one coming by run rule. 13-3 is the final. Really doesn't get any better than that, Dylan.
And a 15-hit day for the Oahe Zap. A 13-3 win. We'll be right back after this for our post-game show.
Hey, it's your phone talking. Yeah, your phone. You know, that thing you're constantly picking up and poking around. Listen, when you're behind the wheel, would you please give me a break? You'll have plenty of time for your TikToks and, I don't know, texting your friends after you put it in park. Distracted driving, friend, no joke. One quick text or social media feed can cause a crash, and hey, I don't want any part of that. You got someplace to be, and trust me, I'll enjoy the downtime. Brought to you by the South Dakota Office of Highway Safety and his station.
Dunes Golf is celebrating their 30th anniversary this summer. They look forward to seeing old friends and new acquaintances on the driving range and on the course throughout the summer. Play 9 or 18 holes, pay by the round, save with a punch card, or become a member for unlimited play. Dunes Golf is a great location for group outings or a summer play day. Call 605-223-2525 or see golfdunes.com. Just 1 mile north of Fort Pierre on Highway 1806. Dunes Golf.
The Thinking of travel? Pierre Regional Airport offers nonstop flights from Pierre to Denver. From there, you can fly anywhere. Book to your destination and check bags through on United, Delta, or American Airlines. 1-hour flights on 50-passenger jets to Denver, then connecting to your destination. Save travel time and money, avoid the crowds, and free parking when you fly from Pierre Regional Airport. Skip the drive. Fly from Pierre Regional Airport.
Looking for happenings in Central South Dakota? The Pierre Area Chamber of Commerce Community Calendar is your go-to for all the latest events. From entertainment to local benefits, community activities, and more, there's something for everyone. Email your event to contactchamber@pierre.org and it will be listed on the weekly calendar. To view the calendar, go to www.pierre.org. Let's celebrate together in the heart of South Dakota. The Pierre Area Chamber of Commerce, connecting our community one event at a time.
Back here for the postgame show. The Zap win 13-3. What a day at the ballpark it was, Justin.
It was, and it all got started with Aiden Johnson, his outstanding start. 7 pitches in the first inning, going 1, 2, 3. And it was kind of foreshadowing the first swing of the ball game, and the first pitch of the ball game was Matt Marsick recording the first out, and the Zap are off and running from there. You look ahead to the bottom of the first. They score 1 run there, but leave the bases loaded, and we started to tell ourselves, oh no, not again. Vince Polizzi threw all those out the window with that bottom of the second inning grand slam to clear the bases and give the Zap a 6-1 lead in the bottom of the second.
Yeah, he kissed that ball goodbye. A 5-run frame for the Zap. They win the big inning game today. They limit the Spuds. 3 innings they scored, but all just 1 apiece. And that's what you're kind of talking about if you're a pitching staff, a 5-hit day, and this feels like one of the most complete pitching performances we've seen out of this team.
Not only from Aiden Johnson, what an outstanding job that he did, but to see Quinn Ludvigson come out pitch the way that he did, Braxton Plemons coming out and pitching officially, and I hope I'm not forgetting anybody, but
those are the 3.
We had a 3-pitch outing today, and you know, you just come out, and the way that you do it is you score runs early, you have that big inning, and as Katie Acosta, the analytics chief of this team, really says the race to 7 usually wins the game, and the Zap got to 7 runs first, and they ended up adding a lot more than that.
Yeah, and when you think about a dominant pitching performance, you might have thought someone like Easton Pratt, the ace of the staff, or maybe an A.J. Ponciano would be on the mound, but maybe some unsung heroes, some unlikely faces getting it done for the Zap today. Aiden Johnson didn't know if he'd be pitching the rest of this season. Him coming in with a great start, going 4 innings with just 62 pitches thrown. Then Quinn Ludvigson only giving up a run of his own. And then Braxton Plemons shutting down the door in the 7th. And then the Zap walking things off in the 8th. Just an all-around great day for the Oahe Zap.
So you thought about it. We had a little bit of a break. Is there a player of the game that you would like to hand it off to? Because it's hard not to thank Aiden Johnson for the start that he had, but you got to look at what Vince Polizzi did today. A grand slam to score 4, then he had that big double to score a run as well. And Vince Polizzi, I mean, just great to see him coming back to form.
Yeah, and you had 4 Zap players with 3 hits today, and it is so hard to not give the player of the game to Vince Polizzi, but a lot of guys worth shouting out. Nick Golden, a 3-hit day. Ty Farwell, 3 hits, 4 RBIs. Vince Polizzi, 3 hits, 5 RBIs. And Noah Cadena, a 3-hit day for him. And then an all-around nice pitching performance from the Oahe Zap has these fans going home happy on this Monday afternoon. Signing off for the last time here at Hyde Stadium, myself, Dylan Beach, my partner, Justin Cowart, and our producer, Eli Lewis, thanking you as always for tuning in here on River 92.7 and the Oahe Zap Facebook page.
And also giving a big thanks to all of our great sponsors who brought us here tonight at Venture Communications with our first inning Fiber Fact at the Pierre Chamber of Commerce and at the Pierre Regional Airport. Final thoughts, Dylan?
Nope, just a great day at the ballpark.
All right, thanks so much for tuning in, folks. We'll be back tomorrow afternoon with another game as the Plainsmen come in for a 3-game series. We'll be off Friday. Tomorrow evening, our coverage will begin at 5:55. First pitch set for 6:05 right here. Streaming on drgnews.com and River 92.7.
This broadcast of Oahe Zap Baseball was brought to you by DRG Media Group and its sponsors. The next home Zap game will be broadcast right here on River 92.7 and DRGnews.com. Thanks for tuning in.